want you to feel very secure about this. This is your site. BrintonVision.com. Call 314-375-2020.
Good morning, my favorite daughter. Welcome to the Auto Hahn Ride Share. I'm your driver, Catherine Hahn. If you'd care for a beverage, just open the Stow and Go storage system and you'll find juice boxes and animal crackers.
Mom, not this again.
In-ride entertainment is available with the UConnect Theater. There's games, apps, and all my favorite movies already queued up.
Bored.
Here at Auto Hahn, safety is our top concern. That's why we only drive the Chrysler Pacifica. Here we are. I expect a 5-star review.
The Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa Legend batteries come with a $15 rebate by mail. Their long-lasting durability stands up to extreme conditions. So even on scorching days, it'll puff its chest out and be all like, hey, summer heat, find another car battery to drain. Napa Legend batteries with $15 mail-in rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Join me, Thomas Helbig, along with Mark Cox and Mark Close for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event on Tuesday, August 7th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. There's limited seating, so you need to hurry. Call right now to reserve your space, 855-755-1555, or visit yourretirementkey.com. Do you know the number one mistake most retirees and pre-retirees are making with their retirement accounts? Do you know how to properly and effectively transition away from significant market exposure over to more suitable instruments? Do you know about the hidden fees inside of your mutual funds and 401k accounts? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss the special event. See you Tuesday, August 7th at 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton. Join me, Thomas Helbig, along with Mark Cox and Mark Close for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event on Tuesday, August 7th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Call 855-755-1555 right now or visit yourretirementkey.com. Once again, that's 855-755-1555 or visit yourretirementkey.com.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit tracyellis.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. It's good to be with you. Fridays are always good. I have to tell a quick story on myself before we get to the news. I do Annie Friday hits on the morning show. Katie Fitzpatrick. You would know this. 7:10 every Friday, I join the Mark Cox Morning Show. Mm-hmm. Except for this morning when I woke up at 7:15.
You haven't been sleeping, though. You haven't been getting much sleep.
No, I have not slept. I have not. I have for whatever reason. So I took ZzzQuil last night. It's the first time I've ever taken ZzzQuil, and it works really well.
That knocks you out.
And
Done.
I woke up at 7:15. I got to go meet the folks at the Diamond Shop this morning. Got to see Nikki and Mona and Tom and look at their beautiful stuff. And I'm telling you, they are liquidating stuff at the Diamond Shop right now to make way for some new inventory for Christmas. So this is just a heads up. You need to get to the Diamond Shop right now and get the stuff while the getting's good, because there's beautiful stuff at, I think it said 70% off prices. I think. I'm going to verify that. So anyway, sorry, Mark Cox. I slept through your hit. That is the first time that has happened, and it will be the last. But moving on to the news of the day. This primary that is going to take place on Tuesday is the hot topic for today. Will be so to Monday, tomorrow too, but it's Saturday. Monday, and then Tuesday is the day. Today we have Tim Jones is coming in studio here in about less than 20 minutes, and we are going to just talk everything Missouri primary. If you have questions, we want you to call in and ask those questions today, and we will get answers for you. 314-241-9797. We'll get to those questions when Tim Jones is in. We have Jay Ashcroft in, who is the Secretary of State. He's going to talk to us about the business of elections. What do you need to have? Do you need to have like 4 forms of identification to vote? We know the answer to that. No. No. Just like if you ask President Trump, did you hear him the other day? He was talking about, was it when he was in Tampa? Listen.
We believe that only American citizens should vote in American elections. Which is why the time has come for voter ID, like everything else. Voter ID. You know, if you go out and you want to buy groceries, you need a picture on a card. You need ID. You go out and you want to buy anything, you need ID and you need your picture. In this country, the only time you don't need it, in many cases, is when you want to vote for a president, when you want to vote for a senator, when you want to vote for a governor or a congressman. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So he got blown up for saying that you need an identification to buy groceries.
Yeah.
Because you don't need an ID to use groceries. You know what you do need an ID for, or what you're supposed to use your credit card. That's what he was talking about. There is a sensible explanation for why he said that, but it's Trump, and he said something that can be proven false in a particular scenario, so he got ribbed for that. But, you know, it's what he does. We're going to talk about Sarah Sanders and Acosta and that accosting. I should just start calling him Jim Accosting, because that's what he does. That's what he is. And so full show today. So make sure you get your phone calls in here, ask the questions, and then that one other guest at 1:00, we are going to speak with Josh Hawley. He's going to come on the show and join us to talk about his campaign. A lot of people worried about him being the hand-picked candidate for the people of Missouri, but I have yet to see anything from Josh Hawley myself that makes me think he's not a good candidate. Being a little frustrated with a system is one thing, and I completely understand that too. But let's try to analyze where our frustration should be placed, and then make sure that on Tuesday we go support the candidate that we want. And Josh Hawley is going to talk to us at 1:00 as to why that should be him, why he should be your pick. So real quick here, Katie, let's start out with you today. What kind of news story do you have for us today?
So I have NASA is set to announce astronauts for SpaceX Boeing missions. I think that's pretty neat. I'm someone I'm down and an advocate for space exploration. So
do you want to be a part of the Space Force?
Space Force! Yes, let's go.
If you leave this show for the Space Force, I won't be sad. I will want reports from the moon.
I'm a genius. I'm leaving. I'm becoming an astronaut. But I'm really thrilled for that. I think that they're supposed to be announcing the start lineup today, Friday. And it's just an exciting thing. And, having more technology that we can use to go and propel ourselves into space and to be the United States of America and able to do that, I think that's fantastic. So I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, I know that I'm 34, you're in your mid-20s. We don't remember when they landed on the moon.
No.
That happened. But you talk to people who do remember it, and they remember what it smelled like when that happened. They know where they were sitting. They know what they were doing. They know how it felt. And to watch that, it was a pretty big deal. So to get back into that business and figure out how that can further advance technology here is exciting. Frank, what do you got today?
Molly Tibbetts is still has not been found. Several hundred tips have come in. They've got their ransom up to the reward up to $172,000 for her return. $172,000.
Is that crowdsourced funds then,
I believe
too?
so.
I think it is.
Yeah. It is. And her mother actually thinks that she may have been taken and is being held hostage. That's her mom's theory. Don't know if that's based on anything or if it's, they're obviously, they keep raising that reward, hoping to get her back. Do we know anything about
the family? Are they wealthy? Are they just,
they're just
everyday
family.
Americans? I mean, I'm just trying to think, I could understand why if somebody was going to be psychotic and capture somebody and it was a wealthy family, they thought they'd get rich on it. Does that even work anymore? You don't see stories like that anymore.
No, and that's good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but as of now, she's been gone 2 weeks, and and they're still scouring that pig farm.
Yeah.
They're still getting tips.
I
several
saw they
hundred
found
tips
a
coming
red
in.
shirt or something in the daycare that Molly worked at. They found a red shirt near the pig farm. But at this point, it's like any little thing that you can find, any little tip that
any
you have.
straw you can just kind of reach out for
Yeah,
and hopefully grab onto something.
Yeah,
and as of now, it doesn't sound like they've found much.
Yeah. Well, it's I just can't put myself in the place of living that. As you know, obviously as Molly, but specifically as her parents, just to not know and to be clinging to all the hope that you can possibly cling to, and just pleading with people, if you've seen something, if you know something, just come forward. I just think what an awful thing to have to deal with. I just the story is hard to watch. It's important though. Another story I wanted to get to here real quick is there's President Trump met with some pastors at the White House. They happen to be black pastors, and watching and listening to the way these pastors are speaking about this president, I think it's an important story to follow, because the truth is that from the genesis of his campaign, as soon as people were starting to even take him half seriously, and by him I mean President Trump, that allegation of racism clouded him and still does today. And I talk to people about President Trump, and if they call in and they indicate they think that he's racist, I say, why? And they go back to Charlottesville, and the Charlottesville thing, this is the explanation that I've gotten from other people. The Charlottesville excuse or reason behind calling him racist is that he didn't do enough to push back. So it's almost like the absence of action indicates action in and of itself. And then some people will cite the things that he said about immigrants, about how the people coming across the border are rapists and killers and drug dealers. Well, it is true that there are people coming across the southern border who are bad hombres, as he referred to them. That's true. And I would think that we would agree that it doesn't matter what color you are or where you come from. If you are any of those things, we want nothing to do with you. Well, these pastors met with the president. Listen, this is Pastor John Gray.
I did not go as a politician, nor did I go under partisan rhetoric. I'm not a Democrat, nor a Republican, nor an independent. I'm a Christian. And I went as a man of God, and I wanted to be heard that if there's anybody who thinks they're above praying for people who sometimes they may not agree with, then you don't have the heart of Christ.
You know, when you listen to that's Pastor John Gray talking there, and he wrote on a Facebook post, he said, my wife told me, if you go, no one will hear what you say. They won't understand why you're there, and any good that could come out of it will get lost in translation. I had not one thing to gain by being there, not one. But then he said he ended up deciding to attend it, and he even led the prayer, and his goal was to speak on prison reform. And Pastor John Gray is quoted as saying, that could greatly end up benefiting many people who look just like me. So here you have a man who, I don't know how he voted. I don't know if he was Hillary's greatest fan, or if he didn't vote at all, or if he voted for Donald Trump. But here you have a man who understands the implications of voting, or of supporting, or of being seen with President Trump. That the association in and of itself is detrimental. If you look a certain way. He's a black man, and I'm looking at the photo right now from the Fox News article. He's a black man sitting next to Donald Trump. And why is he sitting there? He's sitting there because he wanted to speak to the president about prison reform. You know how prison reform doesn't happen? When that pastor says, I'm not going there, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change, and I can't be a black man seen with President Trump. Prison reform doesn't happen when conversations don't happen. Kim Kardashian showed up to the White House, got a conversation with the president, and worked to get Alice Johnson, is that her name, I think, freed from prison, who is serving a life sentence on a 3 strikes and you're out drug charge. She's a grandma. Now, is the job done there? Are we good on prison reform now? No, there's still a huge amount of work that would need to be done in the eyes of the people who are trying to gain audience now with the president to get these things done. But when you're an NFL team and you choose to sit out going to the White House, or an NBA team or an MLB team, or somebody who is a celebrity or somebody who has influence, and you can't be seen with the president, there's an ass in that scenario, and it's not the president. Even though what you're trying to do is make a point by refusing to meet with a particular person who happens to also hold the highest office in the land. You are letting down the people that you fight for, the causes that you stand for, or that you kneel for, or that you sit for. You're the one who's failing them when you choose not to have a conversation. Go have a conversation with the president. Sit down and talk to the president about what you're concerned about, what you deeply care for. And if the president turns you around and runs you out of his office, tell the world. Tell the world what Donald Trump did to you. But if you choose to not show up, if that's where you draw the line on what you're willing to do to fight for your cause, is to not sit down with the president of the United States, then you don't care about your cause. You care about you. And you care about yourself over what you've been fighting for. And it's shameful. These people who are choosing to meet with the president without automatically endorsing every single thing that this president stands for, the people choosing to have this conversation, those are the people who are winning for their people, for their causes. And I'm telling you what, I have yet to hear of a single occurrence where someone has gone in to have a respectful and possibly disagreeable conversation with President Trump where he hasn't treated them with the same respect that he had presented to him in that meeting. And I think people are missing the boat. Tim Jones is going to join us in studio for the next couple segments here. So if you have questions about this election coming up here, now's the time to get them in. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Got a line open. That's all yours, so give us a call. Also, you can tweet us at Annie Frey Show and at Speaker Tim Jones, and we will try to get those questions answered. Happy Friday. Josh Hawley coming up at 1 o'clock, as well as Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. A lot more coming up. Stay tuned.
Like that, you ask how my day was. You've already won me over.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Swallowed me whole. You're so much braver than I gave you credit for. That's not lip service. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Take us with you and never miss the news and opinion from 97.1. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Gateway Area Accurate Dealers Summer Performance Event has finally arrived. Drive home a new 2018 MDX for $13,000 less than a BMW X5. GatewayAreaAccurateDealers.com. MDX MSRP $44,200. Dealers set their own price. Destination and handling are extra.
Oh, I can't stop talking about Kennelwood. Kennelwood just makes me so happy. Kennelwood Pet Resorts, 8 locations. Their first location at Page and Lindbergh, that's where Tony Colombo takes his pup. Founded in 1974. They've been around for a while, folks. They know what they're doing, and they have state-of-the-art facilities at all 8 locations. Their newest being in Maryville, Illinois, which is where I take my Rosie If you go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, you can see a picture of Rosie there, and she's on her climb command, which is what Nikki and the crew there have taught her, and she's just taken to it amazingly. 314-429-2100 to get a hold of them. Grooming, training, boarding, day camp, all of the things that you need for your pet. Kennelwood Pet Resorts is going to love your pet like you do while they have them in their care. I want to make sure you check out a free training evaluation, and they will work with your pup to see what needs you have for them, what bad behaviors they've developed, and they'll work to correct them. You can visit them online at kennelwood.com and call them at 314-429-2100.
Are you a baby boomer with questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? How about the future of U.S. tax rates and trends? Does your investment portfolio fully support your income needs? Heisey Advisory Group can help you answer these questions. Register for one of our no-cost retirement classes on Thursday, August 23rd or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. We will be covering 3 essentials: income planning, investment planning, and tax-efficient strategies. So call now to register at 314-909-1116. If you're 100% sure you have your retirement plan in place and can live well, this course is not for you. But if you've even had the slightest doubt regarding your retirement, call now. Seating is limited. Call and register at 314-909-1116. That's 314-909-1116.
It's here. Diamonds Direct's annual summer ring sale. Oh, and it's big. The year's best prices on all rings. Yep, I said all. Plus, ring designers are here with trunk loads of all new rings, the latest styles, the hottest trends. Bring in your old ring and give it new life with a new setting and save big. Extra savings on all wedding bands, eternity bands, fashion rings, stackable rings, colored stone rings. If it's bling for your finger, it's on sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the once-a-year 3-day store-wide summer ring sale. Only at Diamonds Direct.
I'm Bob McCullough. My primary responsibility as prosecutor is to target violent criminals and protect the public. And that's working. The crime rate hasn't been this low since the early 70s. But we also lead the state in providing programs and treatment for at-risk youth, veterans, and those suffering from mental health issues or drug addiction. Our treatment courts are among the most successful in the state, and by addressing violence, drug addiction, and mental health, we will continue to reduce crime and return productive people to our community.
Paid for by McCullough for County Prosecutor Committee. Irene Yu, Treasurer.
This is the Weekend Report with Tony Colombo and Chris Harps.
This week, we'll get you up to speed on all the big stories that matter. Plus, we'll talk to U.S. Senate candidate Tony Minetti.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
And he knows it's gone. Don't wait for another. Falling he goes, and he cries all night. And slowly he thinks, can't wait for another. Tearing his soul, he screams inside, he says, I'm only, while I've gone away, only.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Well, I can't run away. Why don't you let me go? Say
Since the election, we've added a number that nobody would have believed and that I would have never said on the campaign trail. I wouldn't have said it because they would have done a big number on me. 3.7 million new jobs.
President Trump speaking yesterday and saying the things that those lefties just hate to hear, which is the things that make sure that you know that he's winning. And it's very hard pill for them to swallow. Before we get to Tim Jones here real quick, Chris, thanks for calling the show.
Thank you.
What's going on? How's your Friday?
Well, it was good, to be honest with you, until I'm driving through, actually, just hit the airport, and I'm heading downstate. But
okay,
I got to be honest with you. I'll ask you a question that I asked your screener. Is you're in the process of defending Trump. I got to ask what planet you are from. He is clearly a racist. He is clearly a hater of all things minority.
Oh, well,
everything he has said and done, there's no question.
Okay, Chris.
You're not be a serious person if you're defending him. You can't be.
Okay, Chris. So I admit that I have missed the parts where that has been made clear. So if you could just enlighten me and all the listeners, I'm sure you'd be doing us a great service.
Which pieces?
Just start anywhere you want. You pick. This is your time to tell us why he's a racist, clearly.
I'll take just two, and you mentioned one of them. It's the Charlottesville thing.
Okay.
So you said that just because he didn't say something against it, that means he's for it. In the case of the President of the United States, and in the case of something like Charlottesville, yes, that is the case, and everybody knows it, and you know it, and you should be honest about it.
I don't believe that that how he handled the Charlottesville event was the right way. I think he should have clarified to make it so that it wasn't so people had to fill in the blanks, but I don't believe it's an indication of his blatant racism.
He's got a lifelong pattern of it, everything back from when he took out full-page ads, and I'm not sure if it was the New York Times or whatever the paper was years and years ago, and he still fought that fight. Obama's not a real
took out ads for what?
Citizen. His protests against his diatribes against the NFL protests. Everything he has done in his public and private
but Chris, it's not fair to say, Chris, it's not. You can't unequivocally just make the statement that being against the NFL protests makes you a racist, because that's false.
It's the body of evidence, ma'am. It's the body of evidence.
But I'm against the NFL protests. I'm not a racist.
This started many, many years ago, and I'm not even going to get back to what he and his dad did with their housing situations. This starts back with those young boys and the ad he took out. He's been virulently anti-minority.
Why was the black the black community awarding him
process?
What?
How long did he go through that birther process with Obama?
What about it? What about it? That doesn't
not motivated by racism. Are you telling me that was not motivated by his racism?
Yes. I am. I'm telling you is not motivated. I'm telling you that you have no evidence that this president has a prejudice against people who are not white. That's what I'm telling you. I have no evidence that that is the case. I think that the president... Hold on, Chris, can you turn him down? I'm not going to hang up on him. Just turn him down while I make my point to you, Chris. Here's the thing. People make mistakes, but people who talk in front of a lot of people say things wrong. Sometimes they accidentally say things wrong. Sometimes they say too much. That is certainly the case. I think the president made a mistake when he didn't double down on talking about what Charlottesville was. He didn't say enough, but it's not, you don't have evidence of him saying something where he's explicitly saying that he believes he is superior over another race because he's white and that other people who are a different race than him are inferior. You don't have that, Chris.
Am I back on now?
Yeah, you are.
Do you really expect him to come out and say those words? If you do, again...
If he's as racist as you say he is, then yes. I think it would be easy to rattle off instances of things that he's said
How many people come out and say they're racist? How many people do that?
I think that a lot more people come out and say this president is racist because it's an easy and, Chris, extremely lazy argument against the thing that you really hate, which is his conservatism. You hate his principles, you hate his policies, and it's real easy to try to label him as the boogeyman racist that he isn't. And the shame that you should have on yourself when you say something like that is that real racism exists. There are people who hate other people simply by the way that they look. It's a disgusting practice. It should not be watered down with lazy accusations like yourself. You don't like what this president is doing politically. It's working and you hate it. And I'm sorry, that's what you've got. I cited the Charlottesville thing because I'm telling you, I think it was a mistake on his part. It wasn't a misstep. It was a mistake. That's the distinction here. I'm willing to admit that because I don't think the president is perfect. I don't think there is a walking human on this planet who is perfect. I think he missed the mark there. And Chris, I'm so glad that you're visiting St. Louis and that this is the impression we're going to leave upon you as you drive south. Tim Jones, thanks for coming in the studio today.
Annie, it's great to be here. I know Chris is driving. I hope this doesn't make him drive off the road. I'm gonna say that President Donald Trump has done more for minorities of all shapes, creeds, colors, sizes, and codes in 2 years than Obama did for them in 8.
Yeah.
And I'll give actual examples since Chris couldn't. The first black billionaire of the United States of America, and the Washington Post had a report this. They probably hated writing this story. Here's the headline. America's first black billionaire says Trump economy has been good for African Americans.
Yeah.
So there you go, Chris, straight from a real African American. Now, Chris didn't say the color of his skin. So I'm not going to presume if he was white, black, green, purple, or orange. But there we have an African American saying that. Annie, if President Trump was a racist, why did he his 3 most prominent pardons were for people of color. He pardoned Dinesh D'Souza, an Indian American that the Clintons love to hate.
Conservative.
Right, because he's a conservative. Not because he's an Indian American, because he's a conservative. He pardoned the grandmother, the African American grandmother who had been an accessory to a nonviolent drug offense. I forget her name.
Alice Johnson. We were
Alice
just talking
Johnson.
about that. I think that's her name.
I guess President Trump is so racist that he pardoned Alice Johnson. Figure that one out for me.
Yeah.
And number 3, the one that Obama punted on, President Trump pardoned the African American boxer,
Which is so easy.
whose only crime was to marry a white woman.
Yeah.
President Obama passed on that because the Senate Republicans put that up, and he didn't. President Obama decided, well, I'm not going to politically give them a win. Well, President Trump pardoned, I think it was Jack Johnson, right?
Yeah.
The famous boxer.
Yep.
Also black. So there you go, Chris. He hates minorities so much that he lets them out of jail. He restores their humanity and their dignity, and he brings more jobs to their communities, resulting in the lowest unemployment rate amongst African Americans and Hispanics
And none of
than
that
ever.
counts for anything
None
when
of
it
it counts.
comes to these people because they have a narrative. Like I said, it's lazy.
Easy go-to card.
Yeah, and Chris, if you're new to the show and if you're just passing through, you're going to need to do a little more effort, a little more work, a little more homework before you come on here and try to hurl lazy, hapless accusations like that about this president.
Chris Arps, who's a African American commentator on this station frequently, has said, look, I don't like some of Donald Trump's personalities, but you know what? His policies are good for African Americans in this country.
Yeah.
Chris has come around, many others as well. You've got some black conservatives that defend President Trump fiercer than you and I do.
Yeah.
And so that's all it is, Annie. It's an easy go-to.
And the truth really comes out when people who are not white do defend this president, and you watch how these people on the left react to somebody of a different color thinking differently than they are quote unquote supposed to.
The left hates how well this president's doing, and if he didn't have you've been doing a great job highlighting this. If he didn't have 90% plus negative media coverage, unfair negative media coverage, his approval rating would probably be near 60% because the economy is doing so darn well.
And that it is the fairest way to help all people is to lift the economy up, because the economy won't just pick up, it doesn't look at the demographics. Jobs are available. If you want a job, go get a job. And, the president has even come out and said, we need to help train these people. That was something he came out with like a week or so ago and said, we need to offer more job training because the jobs are not being filled.
James Carville, one of my favorite Clintonistas, said it so well. It's the economy, stupid.
Yep.
He said that back when, and it's very true now. When people's pocketbooks and personal lives are secure because they've got opportunity, prosperity, just simply security of having a job, that's what they're going to vote on. And the media knows that, which is why they try to divert from all of that great good news.
Yep. Well, locally speaking, we've got a primary election coming up here, and we're going to take a quick break here, but so we can get back with enough time to really comb through all of this information that is on these ballots locally. We've talked I won't say ad nauseum about the state or the Senate seat to take it away from Claire McCaskill, but we certainly have covered it. Josh Hawley's coming on at 1:00. We're going to ask him some questions too about Tuesday, how he feels about his hopes there, and we'll get your insight. Anything
Annie,
you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I voted absentee this week because I'm actually going to be out of town next week. I'm going to miss Election Day. I'm leaving Monday morning for a business trip, but I voted absentee. And folks, make sure you take enough time because the ballot, at least in St. Louis County, is 3 to 4 pages long. Because Annie, there's been a lot of focus on Senate race, maybe some state auditor race, things like that.
Prop A.
But there's Prop A. In the county, there's a bunch of charter amendments. So, there's a lot to get through. So, folks, give yourself some time, but definitely go vote this Tuesday.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're going to have Tim Jones in studio again as soon as we come back, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show, 971talk.com/Annie for the stream. We'll be right back.
And he knows it's gone. Don't wait for another. Falling he goes, and he cries all night. And slowly he thinks, can't wait for another.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Interact with Annie on Facebook, The Annie Frey Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
94 for the high today. Tonight, clear skies. Temperatures dropping out of the 90s into the 80s for evening plans on a Friday night. 70 will do it for the low. The weekend, first weekend of August, it's all about summertime. Partly sunny, hot and humid. Temperatures 94 both Saturday and Sunday. Definitely a bump up in the humidity for the weekend. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is late. Text the word late to 72881 by the end of the hour for the chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's late to 72881. Message and data rates apply. One national entry will be drawn. Don't text and drive. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules. Keep listening Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for more chances to win.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air conditioner maintenance or tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your AC running efficiently, prevent repairs, and extend its life. Schedule your AC tune-up and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Oasis Senior Advisors is just such a wonderful resource for people facing that decision to move, out of home. Maybe there's a situation where mom or dad is single now and they're trying to figure out how to live at home and take care of everything by themselves. Or maybe there's a medical need that is involved. Oasis Senior Advisors is there to make your decisions easier to make. You've got a lot of emotion in that decision. You've got physical needs. You've got budgetary needs. You've got maybe just the fact that they need to be as independent as they possibly can. Oasis Senior Advisors is aware of all of the options that are available to you. They will take into account your specific needs, and they will make sure that you are looking at options that are going to fit into your budget. So you're not seeing something you certainly can't afford, but you're also not going to the first place that you can definitely get something that maybe is a little more accommodating to your expectations. They'll come out and do a personal interview. They'll help you find a perfect place that will match all of your expectations. And here's the best part. With Oasis Senior Advisors, there's never a fee for their services. Contact them today at 314-602-9998. Oasis Senior Advisors, 314-602-9998, because the right place means everything.
The 100th PGA Championship is coming to Belle Reef Country Club next week, but the all-new Championship Shop's Merchandise Pavilion will be open to the public this Friday and Sunday from 9 to 6 and Saturday from 9 to 5. No ticket necessary. Park at Creve Coeur Soccer Complex with complimentary shuttle and free admission to Belle Reef. Come out this weekend to pick up your official PGA Championship merchandise. Beat the crowds. Get your photo taken with the Wanamaker and Ryder Cup trophies. We'll see you this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live, from Valley Park to Holly Hills, Oakville to Arnold, St. Peters to Edwardsville, wherever you live, Benton to Florissant, the name you know, Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
St. Louis, Missouri, 314-645-2000.
Frederick is the gold standard for roofing and perhaps priced a bit lower than other bonded and insured roofers. When you invest money into fixing a hole in your roof or putting on a whole new roof, you want the peace of mind that you'll get only with Frederick Roofing. Plus, you can always depend on an immaculate cleanup when the job has been completed by Frederick's own licensed and insured crews.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Sean Hannity.
Terry McAuliffe said the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh will threaten the lives of millions of Americans. They don't like that they lost. That's what this is about.
Hannity.
Weeknights 7 to 9.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now. at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
But nothing is. No.
Welcome back. So, Missouri primary on Tuesday. Prop A is the big thing that people want to talk about. Tim Jones in studio with us right now. Have you heard about this Prop A?
A for Apple.
A for Apple.
Oh, Annie, yes, I have.
So on Wednesday, Tony Minetti was on, and he just decided to come out and say that he was a no vote on Prop A for a U.S. Senate candidate.
I was shocked at that. That's Republican platform stuff. I was disappointed. I like Tony Minetti, like his passion, but I was very disappointed that he doesn't understand the simple economics between why I think we need Prop A.
Talk to me about it. So Prop A, as is on the ballot.
Yes, it is.
Do the people of the state of Missouri want to adopt Senate Bill 19 as passed by the General Assembly in 2017, which prohibits as a condition of employment the forced membership in a labor organization or union or forced payments of dues in full or pro rata? R-A-T-A?
Pro rata.
Pro rata.
Pro rata.
I was hoping I guessed
Rata
right.
rata.
Fair share. We've heard that before.
Yes.
And it goes on. So what is a yes vote for Prop A?
If you vote yes on Prop A, you are upholding the legislature's passage of right to work. That's all it means. The legislature passed. And let me say something, Annie. Back in the election of 2016, we kind of voted on right to work because Governor Greitens said, I want right to work. And Attorney General Chris Koster said, I absolutely will veto it.
Yeah.
All of the state legislators, the majority of them, almost a supermajority, said, we're going to pass right to work. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that right to work was on the ballot in 2016 because the candidates were all saying they were going to pass it. And everybody who stood for right to work got elected. Now, the unions then quickly did a referendum to repeal this.
Mm-hmm.
And I will argue that if this had been a fair fight, that right to work would pass. And what do I mean by that? Well, there was $2.5, $3 million put aside. It was all in the Governor Greitens, one of the PACs.
Yeah.
All that money is gone because it was used for legal defense fees and marketing to try and save him. It's gone. And so the donors were like, what do you mean the money's gone? Well, we're not writing another check. Well, a few checks were written here at the end. Very late start to defending Prop A. The unions, Annie, to try and save this old economic system. That's what I call it. It's the economic system of yesteryear, because to me, this is all about economics. I understand the people's passion. It's not about emotion for me. It's about economics. The unions have spent over $15 million to try and save the union bosses' skins.
So tell me what, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of a Tony Minetti who's seeing all of the no, vote no, because you see it everywhere. What are the people who are voting no afraid is going to happen if it passes with a yes vote?
Yeah, it's paper tiger. So I will give the Prop A people props. They ran an excellent fraudulent campaign, okay? And I mean that with all due respect, because they did what they needed to do, because, Annie, less than 10% of Missouri's workforce will be affected by Prop A. Over 90% of Missouri workers will not be affected one iota. So why is it important? Because it's about manufacturing jobs. And so what they said was, what Prop A people who wanted the no voters, who ran the great campaign, said everybody is going to suffer, and like Nancy Pelosi said, it's going to be Armageddon if Prop A is upheld. It's not true whatsoever. Annie, if that was true, then all of the states that have right to work would not be doing well right now. They're all doing great. 28 states are right to work states. We're nearly surrounded except by the People's Republic of Illinois.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I had to get
always get the Illinois jab in there. That's all right. Yeah. We feel it whether you say it or not. A lot of people that are a no vote on Prop A, a lot of people who don't want right to work, will cite statistics, and I don't have them right in front of me, but I've heard them over and over again about how low wages are in states that are right to work.
Absolute falsehood.
How low the economy is. They cite as a state, as a whole, these right to work states are suffering. What's your answer to that?
So, Annie, I'm going to say go to our friends, the Illinois Policy Institute. They have done work on this ad nauseum, and I know we can't get into the details. I will simply say right-to-work states are adding more jobs than non-right-to-work states. Right-to-work states are adding more union jobs than non-right-to-work states. Since Indiana passed right-to-work, it's added 5 times more union jobs than the state of Illinois. And it's also a misnomer that wages go down in right-to-work states. That's an old fable because over half the country is now right-to-work, and you got to compare cost of living. You can't compare a worker's wages in Missouri or Indiana to the state of New York or California. That's a falsity, right? The cost of living in those states, a $200,000 home in Missouri costs $1 million in California. Just a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house costs $1 million in California, costs $200 to $250 here in Missouri. You can't compare wages that way either. You got to compare them to neighboring states. Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, they're all right-to-work states. They're all adding jobs. They're all adding union jobs, and the wages are going pound for pound, apple to apple, up higher in those states than the non-right. Here's what we're doing in Missouri. At the same time that Indiana added 100,000 union jobs, Missouri lost 25,000 union jobs. What's a higher wage times 0 job? 0.
I know that math. I can do that math. And you mentioned union jobs in these states after right to work. I think there's this misnomer for some that like the unions will cease to exist if we become a right to work state. That's not the case at all. The unions will just have to make sure that they are still valuable enough to people that they will want to continue to participate.
All Prop A is, all right to work is says that as a condition of employment, as a worker's condition of employment, you cannot force them to contribute their wages to the union. It's up to them. So therefore, the worker is empowered. This is all about, the left always likes to talk about empowering people and giving them choice. They don't mean that. They don't
choice. It just depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, one item, one topic only, abortion on demand.
Exactly.
But they don't mean it for economic freedom and choice. So the worker gets to decide, is this union giving me a good bang for my buck or is it not? Or is it spending 99.9% of my union dues on left-wing liberal political purposes? The unions have done this to themselves, Annie, and that's why the Janus decision for public sector union employees was so important. The nation is now right to work for public sector union employees. Being right to work on the private side levels the playing field here in Missouri. I have nothing against my union brothers and sisters. I came from a union household. My grandfather and great uncle worked at Anheuser-Busch, but they would be absolutely horrified to see the type of political spending that unions do, because my grandfather and my great uncle were both blue collar guys, union guys, but they were also Second Amendment guys. They were staunchly pro-life. And basically the unions have decided to get in bed with Planned Parenthood and the NEA and do everything they can to support left-wing liberal causes. It's their fault that we're having this battle.
I've had this conversation multiple times, specifically after the Janus decision, which is that I'm not opposed to unions. I can see a benefit for a union. I can see, specifically with teachers, how you need to make sure that people can't just haplessly fire teachers because they decide they didn't like them that day, or, whatever the situation might be. A union is a very good thing to protect workers in that case. But as soon as the money starts being taken out of somebody's paycheck and then funneled back into the political system is where I go, whoa.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in that at all.
And if you want the best teacher advocate for that, talk to a teacher herself. Talk to Rebecca Friedrichs, a California public school teacher. I don't know if Rebecca Friedrichs is a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent, but here is a lady who's had enough in the land of fruits and nuts several years ago. She was the precursor to Janus. She was the case that went all the way to Supreme Court, and it tied 4-4 because of Justice Scalia's untimely death. So Janus was Friedrich's part 2. And so don't listen to us if you think we're, you think we're right-wing radio talk show hosts. We call ourselves common sense conservatives, but listen to the teacher, Rebecca Friedrichs. Listen to the government worker, Mark Janus. They live it every day. They see where their union dues go. They said they had enough. Why shouldn't the private and the public side be treated the same? Why shouldn't the worker decide where their wages go?
We got about 3 minutes left here to cover the rest of the Missouri primary, but the Senate race was certainly a big one. We've heard from all the
11 candidates.
Yes.
It's finally Tuesday.
Tell me real quick, if you're to highlight in 3 minutes what people need to know or to hone in on, what are you looking at on this ballot, which you've voted already?
Yeah, so folks, go get your ballot. You can go look at it online. Go to your county's website. So I went to St. Louis County's Board of Elections. You can go to St. Charles County Board of Elections. You could print out your sample ballot. You can vote absentee right now all through the weekend in St. Louis County. I think you can in St. Charles too. If you can't be here on Tuesday, go vote absentee. The 3 big statewide races, of course, U.S. Senate, Proposition A, and state auditor. That's on everybody's ballot. Annie, here in over in St. Louis County, right across the way here, huge race on the Democratic side. Mark Mantovani, I can tell you from the latest polling, is in the margin of error against Steve Stenger.
Wow.
So if you're a Democrat and you're voting, or maybe you're a Republican and you live in U City and there's no Republicans to vote for, and I'm not a big crossover voter guy.
Yeah.
I actually like closed primaries, but some people may think I don't want to throw my vote away. You look at that Mark Mantovani Stenger race. That's dramatic. If Steve Stenger gets knocked off in the primary, that's a huge race now. Paul Kurtman, David Wassinger, Kevin Roach, Sandra McDowell, all running for state auditor. Huge race because Nicole Galloway is the only remaining statewide Democrat. So one of those Republican folks will face off. Huge election in November. You've also got a bunch of charter amendments in St. Louis County. I'm going to have Mark Harder on Sunday night to talk about what the heck that's all about, because I really don't know.
Yeah.
So don't ask me. And then, of course, the big Proposition A. Bunch of stuff in November was certified yesterday. We don't have to get into it now, but medical marijuana, clean Missouri, bad. And all that other stuff is coming up too. So, folks, your ballots, judges, a lot of judicial elections in St. Charles County. We don't have time to go through them all now. Go to your county board of elections website, and like I did in St. Louis County, you put in your address. Magically, your ballot prints out right in front of you in black and white.
We'll get on to 971talk.com/Annie. We'll put this interview up there, and then maybe we can grab some of those links to some of the counties around here and put them all together in one place for people to look at. But 7 to 9 on Sunday, The Tim Jones Show.
We've got 6 guests, Annie. We're just going to do them one after the other. There's a bunch of candidates.
Is it 7 to midnight? Does
it's
Jeff
7
know that
to midnight.
Yet?
No, he doesn't. And I've got a big state rep race out of my old house seat. And the current rep, Kirk Matthews, and I are supporting Dottie Bailey, another fearsome lady liberty lover, Dottie Bailey for state rep. And we'll talk about that and so much more on Sunday night.
Perfect. Sunday night, 7 to 9. Every Sunday night, The Tim Jones Show here on FM News Talk 97.1. Next guest coming up is one Josh Hawley. We will speak to him about his quest for a primary victory on Tuesday to eventually unseat Claire McCaskill. We'll see how he feels about it. Stay tuned.
When I was young, it's not my problem.
Hey folks, Annie Frey here to tell you about my friends at Convergent Wealth Management. I recently sat down with the partners, John and Jeannie, and learned a lot about choices when it comes to investing and planning for retirement. This group is client-focused. They are fiduciaries. They chose to be held to a higher standard and put their clients' needs first, suggesting the best options for you as an investor. As a registered investment advisory firm, they are fully licensed and offer financial strategies tailored to you. No cookie-cutter approach. Let professional experience care for your hard-earned savings. Do you own a small business, need to set up a retirement plan, or tax support from a CPA? Let an investment firm that can optimize your tax situation help you. Are you near age 65 and have questions about Medicare, wonder how to optimize Social Security, or understand the new tax law? Come explore your options to optimize and protect your wealth. Mention Annie Frey for a free initial meeting. Call and get a team of professionals behind you. ConvergentWM.com. That's ConvergentWM.com. Convergent Wealth Management. Wealth for the way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jay Omis with Better Sleep STL. Most people are unaware that breathing disorders can affect children as well as adults. Mouth breathing and the lack of proper sleep can have negative effects on a child's development, performance in school, extracurricular activities, and social relationships. Signs and symptoms in children may include snoring or heavy breathing, difficulty falling asleep at night or staying awake during the day, ADHD-type mood behavior, recurrent ear infections, crooked teeth, and even bedwetting. The good news is there are early treatment options available to remedy pediatric sleep disorders, including permanent corrective dental treatments, allowing your child to get a better night's rest and a healthy start in their development. In addition, my office is one of just a few facilities certified in the safest, most effective treatments to naturally promote pediatric airway growth and development. For more information, please contact me today at 636-978-0226 or visit HealthyStartUSA.com to schedule your child's complimentary evaluation.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM, East St. Louis. K254CR, St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
Case closed in a deadly massacre. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. Authorities have wrapped up a 10-month investigation in Las Vegas. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal with a live report.
And Kathleen, the final report on the Las Vegas October 1 mass shooting has been completed.
What we have not been able to definitively answer is the why Stephen Paddock committed this act.
He says they've summarized, the sheriff, Joe Lombardo, says they've summarized the many interviews they did, found out there's no one else to charge. Paddock acted alone. They spoke to people who knew him, his family members, his doctor, who indicated signs of a troubled mind, but said nothing prompted anyone to call police. The report shows in the 2 years before the shooting, Paddock, who was a high-stakes gambler, had spent $1.5 million, including gambling debts owed to casinos. Kathleen.
Thanks, Jessica. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders lashing out at China over tariffs. China is threatening to retaliate against U.S. tariffs by imposing hefty duties on a $60 billion list of American products. It includes coffee, honey, and industrial chemicals. Instead of that, Sanders says China should address long-standing concerns about its unfair trading practices. Another solid month for job growth.
The job market continued to improve last month at a modest pace. The unemployment rate slipped to 3.9% from 4%. There were 157,000 new jobs created, still a healthy pace, but under the forecast of 190,000. Among the bright spots, construction, retail, and manufacturing all added jobs. Janiko Solda, Fox News.
And the stock market is responding to the latest economic news, with the major indexes showing some gains so far today. The Dow up over 100 points. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
FM News Talk 97.1 News brought to you by RP Lumber, best service, best value. I'm Tony Colombo. Missourians suffering from a variety of conditions, including cancer and epilepsy, would have legal access to medical marijuana under an initiative approved for the November ballot. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft on Thursday approved that initiative. A St. Louis man has been indicted by a federal grand jury in the June death of a cab driver. 37-year-old James Flannel is accused of the death of a cab driver who was found dead in the middle of a street. The indictment accuses Flannel of 1 count of carjacking, 1 count of possession of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death, and 1 count of being a felon in possession of ammunition. The FBI and dozens of investigators from state and local agencies continue the search for 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts, missing for over 2 weeks. So far, they have hit nothing but dead ends. The latest disappointment came Thursday when a possible sighting with Tibbetts at a Missouri truck stop turned out not to be her. This news update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms.
Don't let car trouble turn your summer vacation into a staycation. Come to Meineke for the summer road trip special and get a tire rotation and AC, battery, brake, and wiper check for just $14.95. Book online at Meineke.com. Meineke, on with life.
Hey, it's 3 a.m. and the ticking clock seems as loud as a jackhammer, and instead of dreaming about marshmallow clouds and, I don't know, running with antelopes, You're having night sweats and worried about your parents and their medical bills. They're older, you're stressed, I get it. But losing sleep over a few questions about a medical bill isn't going to help. What will is knowing your parents have Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They provide real people to talk to who can help, right then and there on the phone. It's this really crazy notion Anthem likes to call doing the right thing. So your parents will get the care they need, you'll feel more confident than ever, and those antelopes, well, they're about to get their running partner back.
For all the things that keep you up at night, Anthem Medicare has a solution. Real people empowered to get you on the right track so you can rest easy. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Rest easy. To learn more, visit resteasy-anthem.com. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of the Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc., independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Blaine Luetkemeyer spent over 30 years fighting his way through misguided and counterproductive red tape to build a small business and create Missouri jobs.
That's why I never stopped working to cut needless red tape and fighting against new job-killing taxes, allowing Missourians and Americans to do what we do best. That's the way we grow financial security and opportunity for our families.
The stunning turnaround happening in the economy, the growth in jobs and wages proves Blaine was right in cutting taxes on families and job creators, on eradicating needless red tape.
The unemployment rate is lower than it's been in decades. Help wanted signs have replaced going out of business signs. Businesses are doing what we said they would. They're hiring more people and paying them better. It truly is a rising tide lifting America.
Blaine Luetkemeyer is endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and A+ rated by the NRA.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What I see people focused on is security at home and abroad. They're focused on jobs and opportunities. They're focused on ensuring that our courts respect the Constitution of the United States and all the God-given liberties enshrined there. As people see, when it comes to President Donald Trump, it really has been a year and a half of promises made and promises kept.
Vice President Mike Pence speaking about President Trump there, and it just goes to show you a year and a half in, what this president has said he is going to do and what he's been able to accomplish is really stunning. And here it is. Where's my paper? I have this printout and I'm looking at it, and it's the balance of power right now going into the 2018 midterms. The Senate, 51 Republicans, 49 Democrats, and the balance there is very key. His president's ability to get things done, say, approve a Supreme Court justice or get some type of reform through that you're going to have Republicans that will be there to support the president. Those are keys. And if the president loses the majority, be it in either the Senate or the House, you will see a lot of this progress come to a screeching halt. We will not be able to enjoy as much of this new hope and change or the undoing of the hope and change that we've seen in the past. I mean, the president has worked very hard at getting a lot of what President Obama was able to pull off undone. There are a lot of things that this president has worked hard to promise people, and he's been able to make good on a lot of those promises. And it's in the midst of this crazy rhetoric that comes from this media, and we got to see a little bit of it with the Sarah Sanders and Jim Acosta back and forth, where we see the just absolute anger that exists between these two parties.
Follow up on Sarah's question from NPR. She asked you about Ivanka Trump's statement that the press is not the enemy of the people. And she asked you whether or not the press is the enemy of the people. You read off a laundry list of your concerns about the press and things that you feel like are misreported, but you did not say that the press is not the enemy of the people. And I think it would be a good thing if you were to say right here at this briefing that the press, the people who are gathered in this room right now, doing their jobs every day, asking questions of officials like the ones you brought forward earlier, are not the enemy of the people. I think we deserve that.
I think the president has made his position known. I also think it's ironic.
Would you mind telling us,
I'm trying to answer your question.
Okay, well,
I politely waited, and I even called on you despite the fact that you interrupted me while calling on your colleague.
I mean, Jim Acosta is looking for validation here. Jim Acosta is looking for the commitment to the way he's been behaving, the way he is making an entire career out of being the petulant child at all the press briefings. You know, do you know that it's possible to disagree with somebody politically, that it's possible to not line up exactly the same as somebody else, have a conversation, not be disrespectful, and part ways, not hating each other, and still proving your point? This is something that happens every day in America, but yet it could still happen a lot more. And the people who are on the television who are showing us how behavior is, you know, bad examples of it. When I think about like, what if I allowed my children to watch some of these political exchanges, and it would be an example of how not to do things. I know that it is on.
It's on.
Now it's up. All right. Now
we should be we should not be surprised anymore about how impressive Sarah Huckabee
she's amazing
is, but what she did yesterday with Jim Acosta was brilliant.
Yeah, we're gonna visit back with that in just a moment. I want to get to our guest. We're speaking now with Attorney General Josh Hawley. Josh, thanks so much for squeezing in some time. I can imagine you're a pretty busy guy right now, with Tuesday being that very important primary here in the state of Missouri.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So there's some interesting numbers. I'm looking at Real Clear Politics right now, and you up against Claire McCaskill pretty much seems to be in a dead heat. How do you feel about Tuesday before we get to Claire McCaskill? How do you feel about your chances in this primary that's just a few days away?
Well, look, I'm happy to have the support of President Trump in our primary on Tuesday, and happy to carry our message forward into November. Claire McCaskill, she is the least popular senator on a ballot in America, Annie, this fall, and there's a reason for that. She has earned that title, that distinction richly, and that's where we're going to beat her.
What is it about Claire McCaskill that you think is so detached from the people of Missouri?
I think she's completely lost touch with the people of Missouri. I mean, take her position on the United States Supreme Court. 5 Supreme Court justices. She's been wrong every single time since she has been in the Senate or running for the Senate. She's been against all of the conservative judges, against Justice Gorsuch, against Justice Alito.
Did we lose him? Are you there? Yeah,
I think we've lost.
Well, maybe we'll get him back. Katie will get him back.
Yeah, we'll get him back.
You know, I can't. When you look at the primary, when you look at the people who we're putting up against Claire McCaskill right now, and you wait and you see that no matter what happens on Tuesday, Claire McCaskill is still the alternative option.
Right.
I just don't know how. I don't know how the people of Missouri see that and go, wow, yeah, Claire. You know, Claire, she's been good for Missouri. What has she done? What's been there?
Well, to the Attorney General's point about Claire McCaskill being an unpopular candidate, I believe that, too. He said the most unpopular candidate on a ballot in the country. I don't know if it's that severe, but I do believe that she's a very unpopular candidate, and I believe that the Republican that comes out of this race, whoever comes out on Tuesday, and Josh Hawley is the definite front runner in that case, the Republican has the advantage in this election.
Yep. Josh, you there? We got you back.
Yes, I am. Sorry to lose you there.
That's all right. I had Tyrus on the phone yesterday. He dropped because he sneezed. I said, God.
Well, you know, this is as we drive across the state of Missouri, visiting on our 100 Stop Working tour, and the difference between driving and flying, something that Claire McCaskill wouldn't know about. But anyway, thanks for having me back here.
Yeah,
Sorry to lose you.
No problem. What is the campaign has been going on for quite some time now. What's been the most enjoyable thing about it so far?
Oh, gosh. I mean, the most enjoyable thing is getting to talk to folks all over our state and getting to meet so many people. I mean, you have the opportunity with campaigns like this one to meet folks who you never otherwise would get a chance to meet. And Missourians are extraordinary people. I mean, they really are. And this is one of the reasons that it is such a privilege to get to run and to represent our way of life. I mean, Missourians are amazing. Our way of life is amazing. And we need somebody in Washington who's proud of that, who will fight for it and won't apologize for it, and is also not selling out Missouri to the big money interests like Claire McCaskill.
If you were to take Claire McCaskill's seat, and you were the only seat to flip, then the president would enjoy one more seat in his majority. What are some of the things the Senate hasn't gotten done yet that you think that the people of Missouri are expecting to get done if you were able to make that seat go red?
Well, first of all, we've got to confirm conservatives to the United States Supreme Court. We have got to get Judge Brett Kavanaugh confirmed. The fact that Claire McCaskill will not, first of all, is not meeting with him, not out there leading on this, not pledging to vote for him. She needs to come out right now and say that she's going to vote for Judge Kavanaugh. She needs to be calling her party's left wing to account here and saying, come on, guys, Missourians voted for Trump by 20 points. Judges were a big part of that, so we've got to start there. We've also got to secure the border and reform our immigration system.
You've gotten a lot of support from the Republican committee, and there's been a lot of concern about that from some other people. But I constantly reiterate to people that the candidate that we have, all of them across the board, all 11 of them in this primary, are all better options than Claire McCaskill when it comes to representing the people of Missouri in Washington, D.C. And we've had some candidates come on this station. One of them expressed that they are more looking forward to beating you than even Claire McCaskill. There's a lot of dissent right now just leading up to this Tuesday primary. If you are to win on Tuesday, what are you going to do to make sure that you can consolidate all of that temper that is there right now? People who are frustrated with the swamp, whether it's in D.C. or in the state of Missouri. A lot of people can unite behind unseating Claire McCaskill, but I think that they're going to need to know more about you before they lend you their support. What do you say to those people who may not vote for you on Tuesday, but if you were to win, you would need those votes going into November?
So I would say that President Trump needs reinforcements on Capitol Hill. He needs someone who's going to go and advocate to get things done, and he needs an ally, and that's why I'm running, and that is what I would bring to the United States Senate. But I'd also say, I've carefully avoided getting into fights with my fellow Republicans. I just don't believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have time to fight among ourselves. We have got to go and fight against Claire McCaskill and the loony left wing at this critical turning point for our country. And I think if we unite as a party, and I'm confident that we will, we're going to win this election. And it's going to be a new day for not just the state of Missouri, but for the country, because this Senate race is the most important race in the country this year. The president said it. It's the truth. And we're going to show, the Missourians are going to show the American people the way forward come November.
If you're the candidate selected on Tuesday, I would say, what would the attack ads against Josh Hawley from Claire McCaskill be? But we've already had some of those, and some of the money coming from Chuck Schumer. What else are people going to have to brace themselves for when they're defending the Republican candidate to unseat Claire McCaskill? If it's Josh Hawley that wins on Tuesday, what else are we going to see come out?
Well, I mean, they have. You say some ads. I mean, Chuck Schumer has spent $8 or $9 million in negative advertising. I mean, just absolutely pounding me relentlessly with the false and made-up charges, and it just shows you that they have nothing to run on. They have nothing positive. Claire McCaskill can't talk about her record. I mean, you think about her record on immigration. She is supporting an open borders policy, the most loony left-wing bill, Dianne Feinstein's legislation that says if you bring a child to the border, then you automatically get a free pass into our country. I mean, it is inhumane. It's crazy. But this is her policy. And, of course, think about the judges she supported over the years who want to take away your Second Amendment rights. So she doesn't want to talk about any of those things. She wants to change the subject, but we're not going to let her. We're going to keep the focus on her and her record. She should defend herself, defend her record, and I look forward to pressing her on it for the next 3 months.
You know, does that speak to how valuable this seat is to Democrats, that to have that much money? You said $9 million from Chuck Schumer?
And counting. He's currently up with, he just announced additional buys. And look, Claire McCaskill, money is very important to Claire McCaskill. It is her whole theory here of how she's going to win this race. It's the whole focus of her campaign to get gobs and gobs of money from out of state, dump it into this race, and try and buy it. Well, I have news for her. This state, this race is not for sale. Yeah. The people of Missouri are going to choose the winner here, and they're going to choose somebody who believes in our way of life and shares our values. She doesn't, and that's why she's going to get sent home come November.
Josh Hawley, Attorney General, this is Tony Colombo. Just to your point, a story this week that we covered here showed that I'm blanking on the name of the PAC, but the biggest money-raising super PAC in the country is a Democratic super PAC that's raised over $56 million at last check to elect Democrats across the country, and the candidate that has received the most of that money is Claire McCaskill. So that shows you how important and maybe scared they are about this seat, and how important this seat is to the Democrats. And like the president and vice president have said, the eyes of the country are on Missouri for this Senate race. So you say that she's trying to buy the election. That there might be some stats right there and that could sort of prove that point.
And you look at where her fundraising comes from, her number one zip code for money raised is Washington, D.C. She is the number one, seriously, she is the number one taker of money from lawyers and lobbyists in the entire United States Congress. I mean, it is really extraordinary. She is not running in Missouri based on support from Missourians. Yeah. She is running in this state with other people's money from other states, beginning with D.C. and Hollywood and Wall Street. And Missourians see through that. They see through it. They see through her record. They want somebody who believes, again, in our values and our way of life, who wants to secure the border, who wants conservative judges, who's going to fight for those middle-class jobs. That's what this election's about, and that's why we're going to prevail.
Josh Hawley fighting for that Senate nomination to represent the Republicans to beat Claire McCaskill. Again, I reiterate, as somebody who's living in Illinois, just longing across the top of the arch from the border, saying, please get this decision right, Missouri, in November. Please do it. Please do it the right way. Thank you for coming on the show today. Any parting words for the people as they're making their final decisions on casting their ballots on Tuesday?
I just want to say that I think that the president has got it right, that this Senate race is the most important one out there, that it will determine control of the Senate, and together we can take this seat back for the people of Missouri. I ask for your vote on August the 7th and look forward to seeing folks all across the state.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us some time today, and you can get back to doing what you're doing before Tuesday, and we're really excited for the day to come.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. That's Attorney General Josh Hawley looking to take that seat away from Claire McCaskill in November. But remember, Tuesday is the day where you have your voice heard to make sure that your candidate, the one that you want to represent you, instead of Claire McCaskill, you get to choose on Tuesday. So more phone calls throughout the course of the day here, 314-241-9797. Next up in studio, we have Jay Ashcroft, Secretary of State in Missouri, who's going to give us the layout of this election. Anything you might know, any questions you might have, you can tweet those questions to me at Annie Frey Show, and I'll squeeze them in if I can. Stay tuned. A lot more coming up.
Pair of boots and a sack of clothes, free and easy down the road I go.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Ragweed's rocking on the radio, free and easy down the road I go. So I keep rolling like an old banjo, free and easy down the road I go. Got the sun shining on me like a big spotlight.
The August 7th primary is this Tuesday, and we want you to be ready to vote. See what's on the ballot in your neighborhood by going to 971talk.com and tune in for special coverage of results starting at 5 a.m. after Election Day. FM News Talk 97.1. Don't vote. until you listen to us. Don't get stuck in neutral. Shift your retirement plan into overdrive with your Retirement Highway with Ken Heisey and Steve Muller from the Heisey Advisory Group. Saturday nights at 7 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Is it time to spruce up your house? Is it time to look at the siding and say, yeah, we can't really put this off any longer. It's time to do something. And it's a big investment. Of course, it's going to be an investment. It's your home. And you want to make sure that you get quality. And you want to make sure that you get customer service, because when you're spending money on your home, you want to make sure it's done right. Banner Construction is the place to call. You can call Banner Construction at 314-569-1050 and talk to them about what you would like to have done. They'll show you the examples. When I was visiting with them the other day, they were showing me all the different types of siding that they have. This James Hardie fiber cement siding is just absolutely beautiful. It's top of the line, and they are your elite preferred James Hardie contractor. That's how you know that the product is going to get installed right. Your investment is going to be well taken care of in the hands of Banner Construction. Call Banner Construction at 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
They said a lawyer from a small firm could never take on the Wall Street establishment and win, but David Wassinger did just that, and he won twice. Wassinger took on the big Wall Street banks and uncovered billions in fraud against taxpayers. He held them accountable, and now Wassinger is running for state auditor to hold Missouri bureaucrats accountable. The only Republican candidate for auditor who is a CPA, Wassinger will protect your tax dollars.
I'm David Wassinger. The election is this year, but it's really about the future. Here's why. My wife Colleen and I are lifelong Missourians and the proud parents of 2 young sons. We want future generations to have the same opportunities I had growing up in Hannibal. Too often, politicians and bureaucrats look out for themselves. I'm running for auditor to work for you, not for them. Together, we'll restore trust in Missouri.
David Wassinger, CPA for auditor.
Paid for by Citizens for Wassinger, Mark Dunn, Treasurer.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. #1 in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at LincolnPowersports.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic and host of Maximize Living Sundays at 8 a.m. at Health From Within. We focus on 5 essential areas to strengthen your nerve system and maximize your health. Your body alone, without medications, has tremendous power to heal itself. At Health From Within, we unlock those natural healing powers you possess. To learn more about our unique approach, go to healthfromwithinstl.com. That's healthfromwithinstl.com, and join us Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on FM News Talk 97.1.
So the Obama administration had, for all intents and purposes, the same exact policy. Did you ever hear Obama called Hitler?
Weeknights, 9 to midnight.
No, you didn't. It didn't just happen under Trump.
Mark Levin.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Welcome back. Busy show today, busy Friday. And joining us in the studio now is Secretary of State, Missouri Secretary of State, Jay Ashcroft. Thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I think this is my first time. I really appreciate it.
I love it. Yes, anytime. You're always welcome here. So Tuesday is the big election day, and when we were just talking about this before we went on the air, I said, what should we make sure that we hit? And you said, well, we want to make sure people know that there's an election. I'm pretty sure these people are very aware that there is an election. But it can be kind of confusing sometimes if people move, if people change locations, or if a polling place moves. What do people need to know, just the mechanics of voting on Tuesday.
You know, if they want to confirm where they're going to need to go to vote, they can go to the Secretary of State's website under elections. There's a place where you put in your address, and it tells you what your polling location is. But as far as what you need to take, we'd appreciate it if you take that government-issued photo ID that the people of the state approved in November of 2016. But if you don't have that, you can use one of the secondary forms of identification that you're allowed to use before the law went into effect, like your voter registration card, your bank statement with your name and address on it. And frankly, if you don't have anything, you can still use a provisional ballot. I mean, that's what's so great about what the people of the state of Missouri did in 2016. They strengthened our ballot protections, but they also made sure that if you're registered, you can vote. So you have no excuse. Get out and participate.
So being an Illinois voter.
My apologies.
Yeah, I know. I know. I have to. It's like I have to stay and be strong. But you people are enticing over here. You've got a little more of your act together for sure. But when I go in, I'm an Illinois voter, but I'm also a rule follower. So I want to come in with a file folder proof of everything that I have. But the last couple times I've gone, I was like, I'm just going to walk in and ask for a ballot for Ann Frey. And they handed it to me. So, I mean, it's nice to see the move into just making sure that it's on lockdown and that you understand that the person who's casting the ballot is casting it for themselves. But still, go vote. If you forget it, if you get halfway there and you don't have your document or your ID or whatever it might be, they're not going to turn you away.
No, if you're registered, you get to vote. That's the way it ought to be. And when you're the last person to leave Illinois, turn out the lights and come on over.
The lights will be out already. That's why I'm going to have to leave. I'll be like, hey, where'd the lights go? Okay, I guess it's time to pack up. Yeah, I know. I've got a couple people I'm going to need to borrow a bunk or 5. So a lot of the confusion that comes when you walk into the polling place and you're in your booth and like the Senate race, everybody has been paying a lot of attention to the Senate race. It's one small section on your ballot. And then there's all these other things, and there's these questions, and they're like 10 lines long, and you're like, holy cow, I didn't know, I should have studied more, and you feel like you came in really prepared, specifically Prop A, which is another hot button issue. Talk to me about Prop A. What do you want to make sure is explicitly clear with people when they go to vote?
You know, what we wanted to make sure people knew is if you agree with right to work, you vote yes. If you disagree with it, you vote no. I think far too often in our state, people have gone in, they know what they believe, but they weren't sure if that meant they wanted to vote yes or no on an issue. And we have to kind of play it straight. You can look at how I campaign to know where I'm going to vote on the issue. But we just want people to know if you agree with right to work, you vote yes. If you disagree with that, you vote no. It's that simple.
And for people to be able to view their ballots, because a ballot here in the city is going to look different than one in Wentzville or St. Charles or Chesterfield. What do people do?
You know, you can always contact your election authority. You can contact your St. Louis City Board of Elections, or if they're in a county, the St. Louis County Board of Elections. Although I think the St. Louis County Board of Elections, they really did a great job. They wanted to go ahead and just send out sample ballots to registered voters as a reminder and help them get prepared for the election, which I think is great.
So, participation.
It's going to be depressingly small.
Yeah, our primary in Illinois was in March. I was advocating heavily for the other Republican in the race for governor. And when you go look at the numbers and you realize 20,000 votes separated the challenger for the Republican primary from the incumbent, and you think about 20,000 people, that's not a huge town. What do you expect? What do you expect out of this turnout on Tuesday?
You know, in 2014, we didn't have a U.S. Senate race on the ballot in August, and we had about a 25% statewide turnout. This year, we do have a U.S. Senate race with some primaries. We do have Proposition A, the right to work proposition. I would guess it's probably going to be somewhere in the area of 30%, but that still means 2 out of 3 people that are registered don't vote.
That sounds even high. That's higher than I would have even expected it to be compared to numbers I've heard from,
which is depressing,
my side of the pond.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, and what it really comes down to is every person that doesn't vote, that's wisdom and experience that we lose in making the best decision. The more people that have different viewpoints that are truly looking for the best solution to get involved, they help us to miss those unintended consequences that we might otherwise not see. And it's not just a right, it's a responsibility.
Mr. Secretary, if you could clear up a couple of things. So we've been talking in the news, especially in the last 24 hours, and your name attached to some initiatives that you have approved for a future election. We've been talking about minimum wage, talking about redistricting, and there's a few marijuana issues on the ballot that are getting that are getting a lot of news right now, but that's not what people are going to be voting on Tuesday. So could you sort of clear up when the issues that people are going to be able to vote, when they're going to be on the ballot, and when people can go vote on those things?
Right. There will be one statewide issue in August on Tuesday. That'll be Proposition A, right to work. In November, we're looking at having a constitutional amendment dealing with bingo games, revising that a little bit, a constitutional amendment on a gas tax increase, a constitutional, two constitutional amendments and one statutory amendment dealing with medical marijuana and decriminalizing that under Missouri law. Then also a state minimum wage increase, which would be statutory and would over time increase the minimum wage. And last but not least would be a constitutional amendment that affects the legislature, lobbyist gifts, completely redoes how we do redistricting in the state of Missouri and putting limits on contributions for campaigns. But those will all be in November. You have plenty of time to learn about those. You can go to sos.mo.gov and see the actual language. Read it for yourself.
Let me ask a dumb question. They're my favorite questions because I think that most people are like, oh, yeah, I kind of want to know that too. What's the Secretary of State do when it comes to elections? Do you have any involvement in that?
Really, there are two things that the Secretary of State does because most of the work is done by either your Board of Elections here in the city or the county, or for the rest of the state, it's the county clerks. We make sure the county clerks understand what the law requires of them. But in Missouri, we give a lot of leeway to our local officials to say what works best in McDonald County.
Which is good.
It's a wonderful way to do it. And then once they make their decisions, they know what the black letter law requires. We try to come alongside and make sure they have the resources, the technology, the know-how to implement good elections.
Yeah, I think that there's, especially if you're running and people are electing a Secretary of State or Attorney General or whatever it would be, some people will go Republican, 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 or Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. I don't think people really understand all the parts and the pieces and how they work together. And ultimately, how you're serving as a representative of people who sent you there to do a job. And that's important for people to understand.
Yeah, and the hardest part of my job, if you're a legislator, sometimes you are kind of a partisan representative, but I really have to represent everyone, regardless of party. So there are times when I maybe would want to speak out a little bit more on an initiative petition, but my job is to be the neutral arbiter. And I think that's the way government ought to be. We ought to treat everyone equally. When you walk in to vote, it doesn't matter what party you are, where you come from. If you're a citizen, if you're of age, if you're registered, we're going to make sure you have that right and you do it.
I didn't preface this question with you at all, but I'm wondering if you can speak to election tampering, confidence that voters can have when they go cast their vote, that they are going to have their voice be heard. We hear a lot on the national scale about the Russians and tampering, and we hear it about on social media. How confident are you in the results that you get out of this election next Tuesday?
There's a little-known political term. I'm sure you've never heard of it. It's 2 words called fake news.
Fake news.
Now, let me back up just a little bit. We take that very seriously, the integrity of the elections and making sure they're secure, but they are. And even in 2016 at the national level, if you talk to any of the security agencies, any of the alphabet soup in classified or unclassified briefings, they'll tell you there was no evidence that any votes or any voter registrations were changed. Unfortunately, I think we see a partisan attack on our democratic process. And I think it's up to secretaries of state to stand for the proposition that states know how to run elections. We will keep them secure. I have no concerns whatsoever that the vote that I cast earlier this week when I voted absentee would not be counted, or that it would not be counted equally with every other legally registered voter's vote. In fact, Missouri's leading the way when it comes to cybersecurity. We're having the National Election Security Summit right here in St. Louis at the headquarters of Worldwide Technology in September. Probably 20 states, national, individual cybersecurity experts, vendors, all coming to Missouri to learn how it's done. If you're a voter in Missouri, if you're registered, you can vote. Your vote will count. End of story.
That's awesome. And then one last question for you. When you go to vote, at least my experience in the state of Illinois, I've never voted in Missouri, but I like to joke, if I probably could vote in the state of Missouri as an Illinois resident, we just vote whenever, wherever. We go in, you see somebody standing there who takes your ballot, and they look you up in a card catalog of sorts, and then they hand you this. Who are those people? Where do they come from?
Poll workers. Poll workers and election judges. They get paid very little to work very long hours. Most of them show up at the polling place at 5 o'clock in the morning, don't leave until all the votes have been collected, all the equipment's been sealed and transferred to the election authority. They are the backbone of our election system, and I know that if anyone is willing to work the day on Tuesday and get trained, there's not an election authority in this state that wouldn't be happy to have them.
Mhm.
They are what allow the rest of us to vote.
How do you get involved in that?
Call your local election authority. If you say you're at all interest, they will call you every time there's an election until you die.
So if you sign up, you're signing up with your life.
I probably shouldn't have said that. It's a very easy, cushy job. Go ahead and give them a call.
Being somebody who has, for the last handful of elections here on 97.1, been the person that's gone around to polling places and talked to people in those polling places during every election, the poll workers there, by and large, are people that are very passionate about what they are doing.
And very protective of the process.
Very protective, and they're great people.
Do you have time for a quick story about poll workers? Last year, I got to give an award to 4 poll workers in McDonald County, the extreme southwest Missouri. They were working the polls for an April election, and a tornado came through. I think it was a quarter of a mile, half a mile away from them. That's close. That's dangerous.
It's way too close for me, yeah.
If you're from Missouri, you shut everything down, you get to cover it. They did that. Tornado passes through one of the poll workers, and they were, shall I say, veteran. They were older individuals. Looks at the watch, says, it's 6:45, what do we do? And the other poll workers say, well, I guess we go open the polls up in case someone comes in the next 15 minutes to vote. Now, no one was going to vote 15 minutes after a tornado tore through town, but they were darn well going to make sure that if someone wanted to, they could, and they would be able to participate. That's what poll workers are like.
I just love when I just thoroughly enjoy the process of voting. I probably wish it would take longer just because I like being there, and it's really like it's just amazing to be able to walk in, get your ballot, vote, and move on. But I like it when it's crowded full of people. I like it when you go in there and you don't know where anyone stands on anything. You're just people having your voice be heard. It's the most American thing that we can do. And it's just, like you said, the turnout for primaries is just very, very pathetic. My words, not yours, but it is very sad to see in the primary where people can really choose who they want to represent them in that fight against the other party, Democrat or Republican. Tuesday is just important. It's really important for the people of Missouri.
It's important to vote. And also, let's remember the people that threw their hat into the ring. I remember on filing day getting to say hello to about 400 people that knew that half of them would lose, and yet they had a passion and a burning desire to make our state better.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank everyone that's running for putting in the effort to try to make our state better.
All right. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft making it happen in Missouri on Tuesday for that primary, which you are all very prepped for. He wants you to remember to go vote, and so do I. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you very
much. We
much.
look forward to having you back in here again soon as well. Your phone calls about this election, and we're also going to dive into that Sarah Sanders clapback at Jim Acosta and just see what the circus is doing today. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
94 for the high today. Tonight, clear skies. Temperatures dropping out of the 90s into the 80s for evening plans on a Friday night. 70 will do it for the low. The weekend, first weekend of August, it's all about summertime. Partly sunny, hot and humid. Temperatures 94 both Saturday and Sunday. Definitely a bump up in the humidity for the weekend. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is tennis. Text the word tennis to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's tennis to 72881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers water heater, duct sealing, and attic insulation services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com. Dentistry with TLC and Dr. Anna Smith is a place you need to go when you're considering braces. And remember, braces aren't just for kids. I think we get in the habit of thinking that that's something that kids have to deal with. And if you're an adult, you're probably grown out of it. That's totally not true. I know plenty of adults who have had braces and have enjoyed a new confidence in their smile in their middle age or even in their senior years. Dr. Anna Smith's oldest patient was 84, which is just awesome that some 84-year-old lady said, yeah, I think I'm going to straighten my teeth now. I think that's fantastic. 618-466-0733, 618-466-0733. You can call them or text them and just let them know that you are looking to set up that $1 consultation with the doctor. It's a value of over $150 through the end of August, so hurry. It's August already, which is also crazy, but you'll get that consultation with Dr. Smith, a digital panoramic x-ray, and they'll find out what situation would best fit your needs. There's a customized solution out there for you, and Dr. Anna Smith is looking forward to working with you on that. So get that $1 consultation through the end of August. Again, it's 618-466-0733 or online at dentistrywithtlc.com.
This is the Long-Term Care Minute. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, of the 16 million veterans who served during World War II, less than 558,000 are still alive. To make things worse, many of them now need long-term care. With the average cost of nursing home care approaching $7,000 monthly, we wondered, what should veterans do? For some advice on this, we called on long-term care expert and best-selling author Don Quante. So Don, what should our veterans do?
Well, quite simply, we recommend our veterans get a free copy of my book, Tax-Free Money for Long-Term Care, where they will learn about a little-known veterans benefit that may allow them to receive up to $26,000 a year tax-free to pay for long-term care. Give me a call right now. The next 30 listeners will get a free copy of my book.
That sounds great, Don. Just call 800-256-1607. That's 800-256-1607. This has been the Long-Term Care Minute.
I'm Bob McCullough. My primary responsibility as prosecutor is to target violent criminals and protect the public. And that's working. The crime rate hasn't been this low since the early 70s. But we also lead the state in providing programs and treatment for at-risk youth, veterans, and those suffering from mental health issues or drug addiction. Our treatment courts are among the most successful in the state, and by addressing violence, drug addiction, and mental health, we will continue to reduce crime and return productive people to our community.
Paid for by McCullough for County Prosecutor Committee. Irene Yu, Treasurer.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live, from Berkeley to Belleville to Richmond Heights to Melville, Glendale to Shrewsbury, the Central West End, Sunset Hills to Soulard, the one you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000. Aren't you tired of hearing ads that say they're the best, they're the experts, blah, 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 just one unsubstantiated claim after another? Well, here are two substantiated claims that actually mean something if you need roof repair or a new roof. With a family-owned business tradition of over 80 years and 80,000 satisfied customers, you can depend on Frederick Roofing, residential or commercial.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Hey, everybody close here. Join Rachel and me at EPC Computer Superstore this Saturday from 11 to 1 p.m. for their grand reopening and no sales tax holiday. They're located at Cave Spring and Highway 70. For more info, go to 971talk.com.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Could dress up to get love, but guess what? I'm never gonna be that girl who's living in a Barbie world. Could wake up and make up and play dumb, pretending that I need a boy who's gonna treat me like a toy.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
personally on a number of occasions, including your own network, said I should be harassed as a life sentence, that I should be choked. ICE officials are not welcomed in their place of worship, and personal information is shared on the internet. When I was hosted by the Correspondents Association, of which almost all of you are members of, you brought a comedian up to attack my appearance and call me a traitor to my own gender. In fact, as I know, as far as I know, I'm the first press secretary in the history of the United States that's required Secret Service protection. The media continues to ratchet up the verbal assault against the president and everyone in this administration, and certainly we have a role to play, but the media has a role to play for the discourse in this country as well.
Boom.
Slow clap for Sarah Sanders. Amen to that. I love her. I love her so much. It's not relevant, but she's 35 years old. I don't think she's 36 years old yet. She is young, and she is slaying these, lifetime career journalists who are used to doing things their way and having everybody else just kind of lap it up. Sarah Sanders is nobody's lapdog, and she is not standing for, she doesn't jump into the traps that are set up for her by the people who are only interested in tripping up the president. She knows it. She knows what their game they're playing, and she just sidesteps the whole thing. I love Sarah Sanders. I love her pearls. I love the way she presents herself. I love that, she okay, here's the truth. She doesn't look like the Fox News array of women that we've seen over the course of time. You know what Fox News got criticized for? Having a bunch of blonde Barbies on parade because all the women looked alike. They used to get criticized for that in a big way. And then here you have Sarah Sanders, a very well-accomplished woman who I happen to think is beautiful. She is a mother. She has young children. I know how hard it is to do this job where, I'm spending pretty much all of my waking time with one ear on the news cycle, and the rest of my time spent trying to raise my children when I'm not here talking to you noon to 3. It's not an easy thing, but it's a blessing. It's an opportunity, and I'm very happy to do it. She is speaking for the administration that is running the United States of America. And what am I missing? Where has she fallen flat on her face? Where has she completely missed the mark and totally screwed up or made a gigantic mistake that she hasn't been able to walk around or walk back or whatever, or had to walk back? She's just so very good at what she does. And the reason why Jim Acosta can't stand Sarah Sanders and can't stand the president is because they hate their politics. I want to make sure that everybody is crystal clear about the hatred that exists for this president. It's only his politics. These people loved this president when he was a Democrat. They loved him.
They loved him in the primary. They loved him as a Republican in the primary.
They dined with him. They drank his alcohol. They went to his parties. They wanted to be associated with Donald Trump because he was Donald Trump. His biggest and only fault is that he is a Republican. And Sarah Sanders, a young woman, a mother, chooses to hitch the wagon to this conservative villain that is President Trump. That's what they hate. That's what they can't understand. And the fact that they still hang their hat every night on the fact that somehow, some way, we're going to find out that President Trump stole this election from Hillary Clinton, because there's no way that an educated person can actually support Donald Trump, is a perfect example of how off base the left is in this country. They don't understand it. They don't understand how a woman of Sarah Huckabee Sanders' interests can go put her words behind this administration on a daily basis. And she is everything that the original feminist movement should champion. She should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
She should be. Here's a young woman, 34, still young. She is still too young, she's 35 now. She just turned old enough to run for president, and she is speaking for this administration on a daily basis. She is what feminism was about, and now this version of feminism hates her with a passion of 1,000 suns. They hate her.
She has one of the most obviously public but also one of the highest positions at the White House, and is a woman and is accused of being a traitor of her own gender.
What's Uncle Tom for women who disappoint other women?
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
That's what they said about her.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, lady whose name I can't even remember, and don't you dare Google because I don't want to remember it.
I remember it. I won't say it.
Please, let's just keep that trash off of the show. You are disgusting to this gender. You are an aberration of what dignity was supposed to be behind women and uphold women. You know what's so great about being a woman is that we actually can do things that men can't do. And the reason why men treat women with dignity and respect is because they understand that and they know that. And that's an okay thing that we're different. I mean, women are able to create life, and comedian who I'm not even going to remember her name, in her diatribe about how abortion, like, go out and get yourself one. That's the way she presents abortion. She talks about how men don't have the power to give life, how women have it, and how they need to protect that. I feel like she made her counter argument for me. Like, I don't even need to. I just can repeat those words, and it should be clear. But the point of saying something like that, when she says that Sarah Sanders is a disappointment to other women, I just got a tweet from somebody at Stanwood45. It says, Sarah Sanders is beautiful for not just her looks, but her intelligence, her ability to hold court with a bunch of a-holes, that's really what he wrote, who only look for her or anyone to do with them to be tripped up so they can make it to the news for the next week. She is beautiful in many ways. That is exactly right. And the ugliness that comes out of the postmodern feminist left, I mean, like, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time to look at what I'm supposed to check off today about how I feel or how I act in order to be an adequate woman for you.
We just mentioned...
It's gross.
Yes. We just mentioned how the media loved Donald Trump when he was a Democrat, and even when he was a Republican in the primary. Republican pundits were saying, you know, this media is going to turn on Donald Trump as soon as he wins if he wins the nomination.
Yeah.
Could anybody have predicted that it would be this severe?
I also want to add, and I think it's a perfect way to end this segment, that at Stanwood45 says she makes pies that look beautiful too. So she can cook too. Suck it, feminists. We'll be right back.
Hey, Tim Jones here from my good friends Rick and Jerry Pogue over at Arrowhead Building Supply. All you contractors have known Arrowhead for a long time as a roofing supply company. Well, they're still doing all of that. And for you contractors, they got those shingle recycle bins and the job lockers and all those things that you know Arrowhead does so well for you. But they're now wanting to talk directly to you, the homeowner. They're getting into things like siding, doors, decking, and so much more. Their showrooms, did you know that there's 3 of them here in the St. Louis area? Visit their website at arrowheadbuildingsupply.com and check out where all those locations are. They're open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturdays from 7 a.m. to noon. Late hours on weekdays and weekends give you, the homeowners, the opportunity to come into the showrooms, check out the really awesome Arrowhead Cube. I got to play with it the other day when I went out there. You plug your house in there, and then you put the Arrowhead siding, doors, decking, and so much more right into the cube and see what your beautiful home will look like after you get it done. Call them at 636-970-1976 or go to arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join me, Mark Close, and Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, August 7th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 now to reserve your seat. It's a seating limited event, so you need to hurry. Here's Thomas with more.
Do you know the number one mistake most retirees and pre-retirees are making with their retirement accounts? Do you know how to properly and effectively transition away from significant market exposure over to more suitable instruments? Do you know about the hidden fees inside of your mutual funds and 401k accounts? Do you also know the best strategy to shift from accumulation to income and preservation of assets? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 or older, you don't want to miss the special event. See you Tuesday, August 7th at 6:30 p.m. at the Frontenac Hilton.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join me, Mark Close, and Thomas Helbig at the Frontenac Hilton Tuesday, August 7th at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or visit yourretirementkey.com. That's 855-755-1555 or online at yourretirementkey.com.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org. Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro-synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right. I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM, Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk, 97.1.
A radio.com station.
No known motive in a massacre. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News. More than 10 months after the deadly mass shooting in Las Vegas, police are not sure why Stephen Paddock opened fire on thousands of concert goers, killing 58 of them. Money could have been a trigger.
His financial analysis is provided. I had quoted earlier that I believe a substantial portion of his wealth had diminished in the previous year, which shows evident in the report. And that could have been a contributing factor.
Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo says records indicate Paddock may have lost $1.5 million at the casinos. There were also concerns he suffered from a mental disorder. Evacuation orders remain in place in Lynchburg, Virginia, where heavy rain is putting strain on a dam. The Department of Water Resources is checking on the condition of the College Lake Dam and may try to reduce the water levels. Police in several communities were evacuated from their homes last night as a safety precaution. Back-to-school shoppers in some states are getting tax breaks. Fox's Eben Brown joins us with a live report.
All right, Kathleen, a number of states offer weekends with a suspended sales tax in hopes of encouraging parents to buy up those school supplies. This weekend, 10 states are cutting their taxes. Arkansas, Florida, Iowa, Oklahoma, Ohio, and Virginia are just some of them. Exactly what is tax-free can be different from state to state and sometimes from county to county. Some areas may have a price cap. Others might include school clothing. Best to ask your local school board about your area. While school by tradition starts in September, there are many areas of the nation where it begins in mid-August, Kathleen.
Thanks, Eben. And some good economic news. The employers added 157,000 jobs last month. The unemployment rate also dropped to 3.9%. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 2:03. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. A judge today set the capital murder trial date for Pamela Hupp, who fatally shot a man in 2016, for June of 2019. Circuit Judge John Cunningham said this past June that he would postpone the trial, then set for September 11th. Announced today he picked the June 19th after the June of 2019 after consulting with lawyers on both sides and Clay County officials. The owners of a massage parlor in Missouri and Louisiana and other states, has pleaded guilty to human trafficking, and his wife has pleaded guilty to misdemeanor money laundering. The charges brought in Louisiana say women enticed from China was coerced into working at the business. Missouri voters will get a chance to weigh in on proposals to legalize marijuana, raise the minimum wage, and tighten government ethics laws when they go to the polls in November. Those are among the initiatives approved yesterday by Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. This news update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms.
Get cash now with a reverse mortgage or a home equity loan. Call Lending Tree now for details. 800-713-2779. 800-713-2779. 800-713-2779.
What interest rate would you rather pay on your credit card debt? 17% or less than 6% APR? The answer is obvious. Lightstream. Because with Lightstream, you may be able to consolidate credit card debt and dramatically cut your interest rate to as low as 5.89% APR with AutoPay. Plus, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to lightstream.com/talk. With average interest rates on credit card debt at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands in interest. And because Lightstream is a division of SunTrust Bank, one of the nation's largest and strongest financial institutions, you can have complete peace of mind. The application takes just minutes, and there are no fees and no pressure. Just lower rates, one low fixed monthly payment, and huge savings. So if you have good credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount when you go to lightstream.com/talk. That's lightstream.com/talk. Lightstream.com/talk.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for more information.
Blaine Luetkemeyer spent over 30 years fighting his way through misguided and counterproductive red tape to build a small business and create Missouri jobs.
That's why I never stopped working to cut needless red tape and fighting against new job-killing taxes, allowing Missourians and Americans to do what we do best. That's the way we grow financial security and opportunity for our families.
The stunning turnaround happening in the economy, the growth in jobs and wages proves Blaine was right in cutting taxes on families and job creators, on eradicating needless red tape.
The unemployment rate is lower than it's been in decades. Help wanted signs have replaced going out of business signs. Businesses are doing what we said they would. They're hiring more people and paying them better. It truly is a rising tide lifting America.
Blaine Luetkemeyer is endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and A+ rated by the NRA.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
The 100th PGA Championship is coming to Belle Reef Country Club next week, but the all-new Championship Shop's Merchandise Pavilion will be open to the public this Friday and Sunday from 9 to 6 and Saturday from 9 to 5. No ticket necessary. Park at Creve Coeur Soccer Complex with complimentary shuttle and free admission to Belle Reef. Come out this weekend to pick up your official PGA Championship merchandise. Beat the crowds. Get your photo taken with the Wanamaker and Ryder Cup trophies. We'll see you this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, thank you very much. It's my great honor to be here today with some of the leading pastors and faith leaders from across our nation. These are great people, most of whom I know, and my administration is open 100%, and we have been. We've had tremendous support, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here today.
I wanted to highlight this story. The headline from Fox News is Black pastors see Trump bringing, quote, new hope, but still need to convince their flocks. This idea of how racist this president is, how racist he isn't. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. And if you have not liked our Facebook page yet, you should go like it right now. Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. And if you have liked it, do me a favor and share it with your friends. Or maybe just invite specific friends to like it if you don't want to be all on Facebook about the Annie Frey Show. if you're embarrassed of me, if you don't want to associate with me publicly. But the reason why I say that is because I'm kind of getting a little bit of heat here on our. We post a link on the Facebook page every day. You can go back to the website at 971talk.com/Annie, and you can see the live webcam right there and watch the show. If you're sitting at your desk and you can't have the radio on, you can always certainly just tune to 97.1. That's fantastic too. But a lot of indications here about right to work, but also about the racism that exists in this president. And I just don't see it the way people are presenting it. I wanted to highlight this clip here from Pastor Daryl Scott. He is the CEO of the National Diversity Coalition. How's this going to go?
To be honest, this is probably going to be and I'm going to say this at this table, the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime. Because, and I try to, analyze the people that I encounter. This president actually wants to prove something to our community, our faith-based community and our ethnic community. The last president didn't feel like he had to. He felt like he didn't have to prove. He got a pass. This president this administration is probably going to be more proactive regarding urban revitalization and prison reform than any president in your lifetime.
All right. Woo. Statement made. It's easy to miss because you're so shocked about the part at the beginning where he says this is the most pro-black president that we've had in our lifetime. He says the last one didn't think he had to prove anything.
Thought he had a pass. He said.
That's quite a statement.
It is.
So,
I have heard that statement made by several people, African-American people, over the last couple of years, that Obama just sort of thought, I don't have to do anything to work to get these people's vote because they're all going to vote for me anyway.
It's really trashy.
It is trashy.
Because then who do you care about? Do you care about your community or do you care about yourself and your election and your political career? I listened to that clip and I wonder how people react to that. Specifically, I've gotten some tweets today. There's some comments on the Facebook page. There's a Dave that is very committed to proving me wrong on my position of this president not being racist, not having the actual.
How's Dave doing with that?
I read his words and am talking to you people about it. I was thinking maybe that if the folks out there in the Annie Frey Show family of listeners read that and want to give their opinions, they certainly could. But, there is a very solid faction of people who believe that President Trump is the most inherently racist person walking the face of the planet. And that is an important narrative for a certain group of people to make sure exists. They want to make sure that they constantly and from very separate directions impugn the character of Donald J. Trump. And, I get phone calls from people who say, how can you support this president? They'll question my Christianity. They'll say, how can you support a man like Donald Trump as a Christian, as a mother, as a woman? There's a whole bunch of things that people throw at me and basically say that because of a specific demographic or a role that I play in life, that should automatically dictate to me who I vote for, what I vote for, who I support, and how I support it. And I just think, aren't we supposed to be the people in this country that are all supposed to have an individual walk where there's nothing that's pre-written for us? There's nothing that's predetermined for you to think. Aren't we supposed to be the people who can be white, middle-aged, wealthy men who also happen to be very democratic? Or who can be young minority women who don't have any interest in, raising a family and settling down, who happen to also be conservative? That's what's supposed to be special about here. And that's what's supposed to be special when it comes to our elected officials, is that they're supposed to represent how we think, not what we look like. The person who is serving in office isn't a representation of a box that you check on a doctor form. It's supposed to represent how you think, because here in the United States, how you think matters. And that doesn't exist in many and most other places in the world, where you get to process information as you consume it. You get to choose how you consume information. We have a wide variety of information available at any given second on any given topic, and you can educate yourself with things that you think support how you feel, and also go and dabble in things that are completely against how you feel, which is what I like to do because it helps me round out my thoughts and opinions. But here in the United States, the person representing you is supposed to represent a thought process, and that is a very key distinction that we need to protect as much as we possibly can. It's sacred. Because the person who represents you has a brain of their own. It's not a demographic. It's not a skin color. It's not a religion. It's not a gender. It's not a sexual preference. It's not an economic class. It's a way of thinking. And the thinking here in the United States of America is that the people, you and me, are the ones who are supposed to be reigning supreme over everything. That there isn't some sort of separate class of individuals who just know better how to manage you and how to manage your life and how to manage your finances, how to manage your time. That's what's going on that scares people so much when it comes to the proverbial swamp. That there are people, Republican and Democrat, who are in Washington, D.C., who think that they know how to do your life better than you do. And if you don't agree with them, it's because you're too dumb to understand it. That's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And that's why President Trump has been so important at this point in time. He is somebody who, what do I have in common with Donald Trump? Other than both happening to be white. Donald Trump's lifestyle, Donald Trump's economic status, Donald Trump's life, progress, and mine are absolutely different. But somehow or another, we can still think the same on specific issues. So one would think that would automatically translate into this Pastor Darrell Scott, who happens to be an African-American, and is saying that this is the most pro-black president we've had in our lifetime. How many times? I mean, Tony, you work with Chris Arps a lot. He is black, and Gabe, your friend, who I'm really looking forward to getting back in here as soon as possible to talk to us again, who is black. You know, they're free-thinking individuals. Mm-hmm. They're not looking for the person who looks like them the most. I've heard a lot of people from the African-American community say, I don't really like a lot of things about this president, but Barack Obama did not do what we thought he was going to do when we elected him. Another name,
Pastor John Michael Brown, who's been on this radio station a bunch, been in Think Tank with Glover and other places. Another black pastor that is not conservative, but is also not a liberal in any way. And I've heard this. Burgess Owens also talks about this all the time. The African American community, many of them are free agents. They don't line themselves up with either party, and they look and they see what candidates and what groups are truly investing time and effort into helping their communities. And it's a very, very slow process. But more and more, you hear people maybe not in those communities, maybe not becoming Republicans, but opening their eyes to the possibility of voting for somebody that's not a Democrat. They're not. I would be and have been so offended when people say to me, how could you not support Hillary Clinton? Right. She would be because you're a woman. She would be the first female president. And I'm like, which would suck for women to have that be the first representation of what women can do in the office of the president. Like, I can think for myself. So how awful would it be? I don't know because I'm not black, but how awful is it for someone to come up and be like, you're black. How can you vote any other way than XYZ? I mean, I think that just like it's the women, most closed-minded stereotype. Hey, you're a woman, so of course you're voting for Hillary Clinton. Hey, you're offensive. Black, of course you're voting for the Democrats. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to have some politician think that in some way, shape, or form they deserve my vote because I'm a woman, like that implies something. Right. I would imagine it would be the same thing. I would be offended. I would be absolutely offended if somebody thought that because I was a white that I should vote a specific way.
Yeah, you should be.
And we have a constant drumbeat of demographical pressure to make sure that you don't break. And the left relies on that so heavily because they've won elections on it in the past, but people are the access to information that exists right now is so plentiful that if you are a free thinker like a Candace Owens, and if you're Kanye West, like I think if the Kanye West tweet from months ago where all he said was, "I like how Candace Owens thinks." That's all he initially said. If that would not have blown up, I don't think people would know who Candace Owens was. I don't think people, but people were so offended. And it's a black man talking about how a black woman thinks for herself.
Yeah.
How is that offensive? So then when you put the pressure on, then when somebody, and you look at a Kanye West, and I've said this many times, I think Kanye West woke up that morning and thought, what is the most shocking thing that I could do today? What is the thing that I could do today that would captivate the most people the fastest? And I truly believe the answer is, I'm going to come out and support Donald Trump. Because for Kanye West to come out and say that, we've seen it with Kim Kardashian going on Jimmy Kimmel, and not like championing the president, but just saying, I'm not going to say disparaging things about the president of the United States. That's simple. That's controversial. That's crazy. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Your phone calls when we come back, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Also on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, and that Facebook page. If you want to show me some love there, I'm getting a little hammered on that post that we put up today about how I've handled the show today. I didn't think I was doing that bad of a job. It's Friday. Maybe I'm just
a great show today.
Just out of gas. Did you know I overslept my Mark Cox hit this morning?
No.
I took ZQL last night.
That's funny.
Supposed to be on at 7:10. Alarm goes off at 7:15. There was 10 seconds of, wow, I slept really. Oh my gosh! No! Call Trisha and I go, Trisha, I'm so sorry. I slept through that. Is it too late to get on? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. We'll tell everyone I'm sorry. It was a good night's sleep, though, which I was in desperate need of.
Good.
I'm not going to do that again. It's been a crazy Friday. All right.
That's
We'll
funny.
be back with your phone calls. And Annie, are you okay? We're going to do that as well. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Love on the weekend, love on the weekend. We found a message in a bottle we were drinking.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
Don't miss EPC Computer Superstore's Drive Up Recycling event this Saturday. Free small electronics recycling. Monitors recycled for only $15. But get a free $15 coupon. Free hot dogs and soda. Giveaways including laptops and iPads. Plus 10% off store-wide. EPC, Cave Springs, and Highway 70 in St. Charles.
It might be August, but it's not too late to start that project, that fence or deck project that you've been thinking about all summer. And you know what? Just think about enjoying a nice cup of coffee on a crisp, cool fall, autumn morning. The kids are going back to school, and you get to sit there and on your new beautiful deck and enjoy the peace and quiet and a falling leaf or two. Sounds great, doesn't it? STL Fenceworks is a family-owned and operated business for almost 50 years, and they take your project very seriously. So if you are looking for a fence or a deck, make sure you sign up with STL Fenceworks for their uncommon level of customer service. They use superior American-made products, and they have them installed by American craftsmen. They put it all together for you at an affordable price. They have a trustworthy A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they are committed to quality. which is why you can't afford to pass up this opportunity with STL Fenceworks. You can visit them online at stlfenceworks.com. And remember, at STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary when you wake up in the middle of the night, gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and also reduce my snoring. My wife happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 314-279-9000. That's 314-279-9000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
Good morning, my favorite daughter. Welcome to the Auto Hahn Ride Share. I'm your driver, Catherine Hahn. If you'd care for a beverage, just open the Stow and Go storage system and you'll find juice boxes and animal crackers.
Mom, not this again.
In-ride entertainment is available with the UConnect Theater. There's games, apps, and all my favorite movies already queued up.
Bored.
Here at Auto Hahn, safety is our top concern. That's why we only drive the Chrysler Pacifica. Here we are. I expect a 5-star review.
The Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Napa know-how. Right now, Napa Legend batteries come with a $15 rebate by mail. Their long-lasting durability stands up to extreme conditions. So even on scorching days, it'll puff its chest out and be all like, hey, summer heat, find another car battery to drain. Napa Legend batteries with $15 mail-in rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/18.
If you have retirement questions, you can bet Marvin Mitchell probably has the answer. Join him every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1 for Rethinking Retirement. With his years of experience, Marvin can help take the guesswork out of your retirement planning. Rethinking Retirement is your source for all things retirement, from how current events could affect your savings to strategies to maximize your retirement income and everything in between. Don't miss Rethinking Retirement with Marvin Mitchell every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1.
The Randy Tobler Show.
Hey, it's Randy, and on this weekend's get-together, we'll talk about the upcoming election with guests and interviews and an on-air survey. How's the Trump economy affecting you?
Randy Tobler, Saturday mornings.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
Goodbye, Joe. Me gotta go, me oh my oh. Me gotta go, pull the rope down the bayou. My chili sweet for me, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bayou.
Welcome back. I want to get to a couple of quick phone calls here before we dive into Annie. Are you okay? I feel like I said things today that made people really upset. I feel like on other days I say more things that I expect to make people upset, and that
I was just thinking that's surprising to me because looking back, especially for a Friday, this has been an action-packed show.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Heavy-hitting show. Tim Jones, Josh Hawley, Jay Ashcroft. I mean, it's been a big show. Go download the podcast if you missed any of it.
Yeah, if you want to get upset, apparently. Let's see here. Let's talk to Kathy. Kathy, thanks for calling the show.
Hi, Annie. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Hey, Annie, I just wanted to make a comment about Trump's base. You know, when I voted in 2017 for President Trump, I was not necessarily all in, but I could not even fathom Hillary Clinton as president.
Yeah.
And but after a year and a half of President Trump's presidency and his policies, I am all in, and I am excited about our future. And Annie, so are my friends. I mean, we were just mildly, okay, hopefully this works out. And now we're like, this is great, and it's going in the right direction.
Yeah,
and
you know,
I think
it shouldn't.
go
It
ahead.
shouldn't be. I was just gonna say it shouldn't be something that like is secretive, but it kind of feels like it has to be, because when you come out with support for this president, and when you're outwardly and openly like, yeah, I think he's doing a great job, what ends up happening is you have to then brace yourself for what's coming next, and it's worth it. But it's like a job.
So yeah, and it's just going really well. I'm really excited, and I am trying to be bolder in my opinions out in public.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Kathy, thanks for calling the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
It's very funny to me. I'm getting called out on not having any reasons why I think that I have to defend that President Trump isn't a racist. I have to prove that he's not. And I just Googled, because I wanted to get the facts on it, the Ellis Island Award. It's something that you see on Facebook, and I don't trust anything that I see on Facebook. Here's Snopes, which is hilarious. It says, did Donald Trump receive an Ellis Island Award in 1986? It says the claim is a photograph shows Donald Trump, Muhammad Ali, and Rosa Parks, might have heard of those folks, after receiving the Ellis Island Medal of Honor in 1986. And it says that's true. And then it says on Snopes, it might seem unbelievable to some that Donald Trump could have been considered for an award in celebration of, quote, patriotism, tolerance, brotherhood, and diversity. But it says it's true. That's what it says on Snopes. That's what I'm talking about. Snopes is like, we can't believe this either, but. I mean, are you kidding? This and Snopes is what, and this is not the first time I've seen Snopes kind of just, nudge when it comes to politics.
Oh, yeah. No,
but
Snopes has a lean. Yeah.
It might seem unbelievable to some that Donald Trump could be considered for an award in celebration of patriotism, tolerance, brotherhood, and diversity. Well, it was in 1986. It was before he was a Republican. But I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump was still living a very similar lifestyle in 1986 for the one that the Democrats try to wag their fingers in the face of Republicans who support this president for his lifestyle. In 1986, he was Donald Trump. In 2018, he's Donald Trump. I get that. I'm aware of that. Anyway, let's see here. Larry, thanks for calling the show. Hey, Larry.
Hey, I'm here.
Hi, go ahead. Thanks for calling.
How are you, Annie? I really enjoy your show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to draw attention to something that you said about half an hour ago when you were talking about Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And you made the statement that women should be proud because they can create life and men can't.
Yes, I said that.
And I wonder what school you went to, because last I heard it takes an egg and a sperm.
Did you hear me when I said that that's what Michelle Wolf, who I said I wouldn't say her name, but that's what Michelle Wolf said? I was quoting her.
No, I didn't hear you say that part at all.
Yeah, I was quoting the woman who attacked Sarah Huckabee Sanders as like an abomination to women. That was what Michelle Wolf's argument was for abortion. Michelle Wolf, who is a psychotic just waste of oxygen, said in defense of abortion, she said that women can create life and that men can't, and basically
men don't get a say.
So that men don't get a say, but also that women need to protect that ability that they have, and she feels as though that women should protect it by having abortions. I think that's heinous. I think you think it's heinous. I am aware of where babies come from. Also something I didn't think I'd say on Friday. But I do understand that process, and I do very much so advocate for pro-life issues on a regular basis here. So if I was misunderstood, I want to make sure that I had the opportunity to clarify.
Okay, you restored my faith in you.
Oh, thanks. Larry's back. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. Thanks, Larry.
Larry.
I do know how that works. And my point of even like as a technique when I'm talking to people who don't agree with me, I will try to concede what I know to be true, what I think, and just like, okay, I'm going to live in your world for a while and just see how this looks in your shoes. I think it's a good practice because, truth be told, I would like it if people would do that for me every once in a while. Like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand you completely disagree with me. Let me show you my perspective so that even if you don't agree with me, maybe you can understand where I'm coming from. So if you're somebody who is very, very pro-abortion, and you're talking about creating life and how you need to protect that as something women get to do, you have to be admitting to yourself that that is life. So if that's the case, if you're pro-abortion, please admit to me that you are willfully and knowingly ending the life of a baby. And then if after we've admitted that truth and you and I can both agree that that's a baby and I think that's wrong and you still think it's right, let's just be very open and honest about the scientific fact of that life inside the womb of a mother and the fact that you're willing to end it out of, in many cases, the vast majority of cases, a convenience, a birth control method. I think that's terribly wrong. So I did not mean to. I mean, I would imagine that would give some people whiplash if that's what they thought that I actually said. That like, wow, Annie's really done a 180 on that issue.
Annie, I thought she said she got sleep last night.
She
sounds delirious.
She's still on the medication.
This is the ZQL
What is
talking.
ZQL doing to this woman?
This is the ZQL talking.
I'd never taken ZQL before, but I highly recommend it for sleep. Sleeping in. Sorry, Mark Cox. Didn't mean to. So yeah, hopefully we've gotten that all cleared up here. Let's just jump into this.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Let's do one now and then come back with some more in the other, because we haven't done this with Frank for
it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
you've been to another country since we've done this.
I have. I've been, came back, had a good time. So
this is going to
in Japan. It's kind of a weird story.
And done.
The company is called Family Romance, and it provides professional actors to fill any role in the personal lives of clients. It's got a staff of about 800 or so actors, ranging from infants to the elderly, and you can actually rent these people to be a part of your life, to be a part of your family.
So, like, if you
have
want
an
to
older
shut
brother,
everybody up at a wedding, you go and
you're dating
like,
somebody.
I'm dating somebody,
right?
Oh, I'd rent a boyfriend for that if I need. No, I don't need to now. Don't get the wrong idea, Jared. No rent a boyfriends for Annie. But yeah, I mean, I guess it probably depends on how you use the service.
To fend off questions. Nothing sexual, obviously. Nothing like, like that. But just to be a part of your life.
Well, how young?
They have infants that you can rent.
Who's renting out their children?
Apparently people in Japan.
Not okay with that.
Infants to the elderly, and the company prides itself on being able to provide a surrogate for almost any conceivable situation. So like you said, if you need a date for a wedding, somebody to bring to a funeral.
Family reunion.
Well,
how long?
Tony's not okay with
How long did you and Christine date?
Have you ever rented a date?
Did you ever have
a year, maybe a little more than a year?
Did you have? I don't know how old you were when you got married, but did you have pressure from family members?
I was 25, I think.
So there was no pressure at that age.
Were people going like, Tony, come on, let's get on with this. Go get a wife. People in your family?
We were getting pressured for other reasons.
Oh, okay.
Because there may or may not have been a child involved.
Get a job.
And so, yeah.
Right.
So
was it a rent and
there was some older folks in my
Yeah.
family that thought that the ceremony needed to become before the child. And
I understand that.
And we were not going to do that.
Yeah.
We were not going to let that dictate when and
I got married
if
when I was
we got married.
23 and
different order of
didn't
things.
Yes.
didn't have to deal with that kind of pressure, but I do have friends who have undergone significant, like, where's your man? And I'm like, do you just want them to get a man? Like, do you really want, like, if you just walked in with a man, and now there's a service for that. I don't like the child thing, though. I can't
like renting out your baby.
I can't think of a scenario where that is applicable.
I'm not renting out my baby. No way.
I know. Like, who does that? And who's the parent of the child that says, yeah, you can. I mean, I will spend time. If you're thinking about having children, come to my house for 2 hours and you will make a decision.
On pricing?
I did not find a pricing list.
Does your opinion change based on the pricing?
No, but that could be.
Oh, for that cost, absolutely.
But that would be the only, like, if it's some astronomical amount of money, then I could see why somebody would be tempted to do that.
What's your limit? $100
to rent out my kid
for James?
for games.
Yeah.
Or to go to the park and have the child help pick up somebody else. You never know.
I don't think that there is.
Use it as a dating prop.
No. All bad. Under 18, I don't know what that's about. If you want to rent a boyfriend or a girlfriend to keep grandma off of your back at your cousin's wedding, then, I mean, you could probably go to the corner bar and have somebody sign up, say, I'll buy drinks around me all night, and then you just place them back at the bar when you're... All right, let's take a quick break here and come back, and we'll finish up these stories here on Facebook, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Twitter at Annie Frey Show, and 971talk.com/Annie. We'll be right back.
Down the bayou, my chili sweet for me, oh my oh.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
94 for the high today. Tonight, clear skies. Temperatures dropping out of the 90s into the 80s for evening plans on a Friday night. 70 will do it for the low. The weekend, first weekend of August, it's all about summertime. Partly sunny, hot and humid. Temperatures 94 both Saturday and Sunday. Definitely a bump up in the humidity for the weekend. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is sale. Text the word sale to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's sale, S-A-L-E, sale, 7272881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. Don't text and drive.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service offers residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
At SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, our patients and families often talk about the Glennon Factor, what Glennon gives to our patients. Glennon gives hope for a new day, healing in time of illness, faith to the brokenhearted, compassion for the injured. Our caregivers take that extra step, revealing God's healing presence to all they serve. Join us in providing hope and healing for our patients. Give to Glennon at glennon.org.
Frederick Roofing, wherever you live from. All of that to Ellisville, to Pear and Jennings, O'Fallon to Overland, wherever you live. Maryland Heights to Manchester, the name you know. Frederick Roofing, wherever you go. For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
St. Louis, Missouri, 314-645-2000.
Frederick is the gold standard for roofing and perhaps priced a bit lower than other bonded and insured roofers. When you invest money into fixing a hole in your roof or putting on a whole new roof, you want the peace of mind that you'll get only with Frederick Roofing. Plus, you can always depend on an immaculate cleanup when the job has been completed by Frederick's own licensed and insured crews.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof. Frederick Roofing.
Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. Number one in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at LincolnPowersports.com.
Hey, it's Tim Jones. Join me for the Tim Jones Show Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. We'll have Tim's Top 3, Media Malpractice, the top newsmakers of the week, and your phone calls.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the Radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the Radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Breakdown, come on.
Hey, come on, Madonna.
Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
All right, welcome back. We're gonna finish up this this Friday show here with Annie OK, and then Dave Glover's show coming in. Who's hosting the Glover show today?
Rachel.
Rachel's hosting. Yay, that'll be exciting. Look forward to listening to that. I always love listening to you guys on the way home because sometimes you go right from the segment that we did and maybe talk about some of those issues, and then sometimes it is like, what is the opposite of what was just being talked about on the Annie Frey show? You never know. You just really never know.
It is jarring.
It is jarring.
Sometimes to be in the room. Because I'm standing in the same spot.
Yeah, you
same
don't change.
microphone,
Everything changes
same
around
computer,
you.
And 1 minute we're talking about something very serious on the Annie Frey show, and then the Dave Glover show comes in, and it can go
pull the rug out of the whole
down
thing.
the sewer in a heartbeat.
You should really change shirts
right
between shows because you're a different Tony on that show.
I have to change mindsets, that's for
yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
I love it. I love listening to it on the way home.
Yeah.
All right, Frank.
Love it too.
Renard Matthews was killed in New Orleans. He was only 18 years old. Now, the tragedy of losing him was really heavy on his family. They chose to have his body prepared for their wake in a way that they want to remember him. So at the funeral home, Matthews was sitting in a chair, video game controller in his hand, surrounded by his favorite snacks, and his beloved Boston Celtics on the television screen.
What?
No.
That's the wake.
No.
Would you be okay
Don't show me that.
with going, well, would you be okay with having yourself laid out like this at your own funeral?
So this guy is literally this body, this dead body is literally sitting in a chair,
surrounded by ropes.
Yes, stanchions. Yes, holding a
game controller, sitting
sunglasses on, hat on.
I haven't exhaled yet.
Full on,
no,
fully dressed Celtics jersey, sneakers.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
On the little side table next to him,
he's got his Doritos.
Is a bag of Doritos, a bottle of soda.
And this is how the family wanted to remember him. This is how he liked
then
to hang out
remember
in his
him
life.
that way. Don't make me have to remember him that way in a
Lots
news
of pictures.
story.
Put pictures up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Tell stories about how he loved his Celtics and video games and his Doritos.
I literally am experiencing chest tightness from that. Stop it. Put it down. No.
That's amazing.
No. Andy is not okay with this. Make it stop. Oh my gosh. That's
crazy.
terrible.
That's
so
crazy.
open casket for you or no?
It's going to happen here shortly. So Jared will have to decide. I can only imagine
We're put you in that chair right in front of the microphone there. Put your headphones on.
Doing what you love to do.
There you go.
Well, oh my gosh. No, that is disturbing. That's a disturbing photo. That's like that has nothing to do with this. But we talked about that Momo challenge yesterday that we saw. That
thing.
image, that face, if you've seen this around you on social, there's a suicide challenge. Like, this is a thing now that our kids are being inundated with on social media and phone and apps. And WhatsApp is the app that it was on.
I can't remember.
Sorry, Charlie, Jensen, and Evelyn, you will be getting carrier pigeons for your 16th birthday, and that's how you will communicate to me. But this suicide challenge, and they've used this sculpture, I think was Japan, out of Japan.
Yes.
And
it's in the Japanese art museum.
It is the most disturbing sculpture that I can remember seeing. In,
the face is something else.
It's not, I don't like it at all.
Mm-mm.
Boo on that story. And he's not
that
was
that was something.
So where are you on lab-grown meat? Lab-grown meat is exactly what it sounds like. Beef is made straight from the test tube. Cultured meat is achieved by collecting the stem cells of animals and multiplied using non-traditional food technologies. Would you eat lab-grown meat?
Not on purpose. It's probably you probably can't tell the difference.
You've probably had imitation crab meat.
No, I haven't. I don't eat seafood.
Oh,
I eat no seafood. You
don't like
nothing.
Much.
Shellfish crab.
Shouldn't like much.
No,
at all.
I don't like.
I don't either. I'm a picky.
I like meat and taters. That's how
I'm a picky eater, and I like crab legs. Well, I'm allergic to them now, but before I was allergic to them, they're delicious.
How'd you find out you were allergic to them?
Swelled up.
Yeah.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Did you get
at Emmis?
Really?
Happened at the radio station.
When? Recently?
Oh no, 10 years ago at least. Probably
no,
longer than that.
I actually am an advocate for the closer you can get to the way God made it, the more I would like to eat it. So we actually buy grass-fed beef and have a freezer full of beef, and beef day is exciting when the half or quarter cow shows up.
Oh yeah.
And goes and fills up the freezer, and you just feel like we could eat beef for half a year, and we do. No, not on purpose. Lab-grown meat, no, not on purpose. Why do we need to do that? Do we need to do that?
Well, yes, because it actually uses a lot of resources to grow that natural cow. This is a lot less resource burden on the environment and
I just watched last night
land and water
on Netflix. There's a documentary
And
called
you're not killing animals because meat is murder.
Meat is also dinner.
I'm not even getting into that. I'm just talking about the environmental toll that grazing cattle costs. It's huge. It absolutely
environmental toll.
Yes,
but it's part of the cycle.
Yeah, a lot of methane.
No, there's gases. There's water usage. There's land usage. Absolutely.
No, lab-grown meat for me. No, I would much rather have.
I'm not interested.
I'm a big fan of the way God intended things to be.
I think I'd rather have like you know how they make vegetarian burgers out of soybean. I think I'd rather.
Oh,
if I'm gonna eat fake meat, I'd rather eat fake meat grown out of plants than grown in a test tube.
But you should also know when it comes to meat that I'm a super picky eater when it comes to that too. Like I can't eat anything off of a bone. I am not. It's not like I'm feeling sorry for the chicken. I just don't like to be that carnivorous.
My wife doesn't like that either. She doesn't like to visualize the part of the animal.
The second that I'm eating something and I'm like, oh, this was the part.
This is the rib cage.
And like steak, I'll eat a T-bone steak, and my loving husband will just cut the bone off and give. And I know that the bone was there. I know that this is meat that comes from an animal. It has nothing to do with that. I just don't want tendons or gristle or bone in my mouth. I can't handle it.
Oh, that's the good stuff. So scientists have now found that if we ask for a doggy bag before we start eating, we're less likely to overindulge, even if we order a particularly large meal. If we know we can take it home, we are more likely to stop when we're full. Researchers at Penn State split 50 women into two groups and gave them one meal once a week for a month. The portion sizes for both groups increased each week. For the group that knew a doggy bag was available, the amount of food consumed hardly changed despite the growing portion size. But the women who were not offered the doggy bag ate an extra 60 grams for every additional 100 grams of food on the plate. So that's 60% more they ate because the portion size were bigger.
Because the food is there. It's just sitting in front of you. And no, I'm a huge advocate of that.
Would you ask for a doggy bag at the start of the meal to keep yourself from eating?
I do. And a lot of times if you are asking, if you're at a specific restaurant, some people are more apt to do or not. Sometimes they'll box up half of it before they'll bring it out to you in a bag. Because some restaurants will put it in a doggy bag for you. But I'm a huge proponent of that because your eyes are always more hungry than your stomach is, and it takes longer for your stomach to understand how hungry you aren't anymore.
How to tell you to stop.
Yes, and another thing that my husband and I do an awful lot is we just order one meal between the two of us and share it, and then we have a.
Isn't that cute?
I don't know if that's the word my husband would use. No, we'll share it.
Economical.
And then our thing is that if we're still hungry afterwards, we'll get dessert and share dessert.
If you guys share meals, is he as picky as you are?
Oh gosh, no. No, when we were in Disney
World, he has
World,
to be. Yes,
I was going to say all his food is going to be
bland and not.
No, I'll eat steak.
I'm way more like you than most people. I'm a picky. My wife is too, but
when we went to Disney, I said eat. Because
you went to Disney?
Yes,
we didn't talk about
this. This is new. We haven't talked about it as much as I certainly could.
No.
But all my Disney stories have been relevant to the. I know. I told him, I'm like, I don't care, because there are times where he won't order things because they do kind of gross me out. Well, he had a lobster. I should put the video on the Facebook page, because my kids, being Midwestern kids, and if you're going to eat lobster, you want to make sure you eat good lobster. They've never seen anything like a lobster on a plate. And when the waiter brought the lobster out and placed it in front of my husband, I videoed it, and watching my son, he gets his like corn dogs in his little bowl that's shaped like a race car or something like that. He gets that plopped down in front of him. And then here comes this like open lobster, and his face, like he has never seen anything like that before. And that's because we don't eat like that. My husband and I will, like, I'll share steak and salad and potato or something like that. But he had carte blanche to eat anything. I wouldn't make any comments about his food in Disney, and he did. He enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm a huge proponent. That is a very good piece of diet advice that somebody gave to me at some point, which is put half of your food away or more before you even start eating. You won't even know you missed it.
A North Carolina man was awarded $8.8 million Thursday after a Durham County court ruled that another man destroyed his marriage. Keith King filed a civil complaint in April of 2017, alleging that Francisco Huzar of San Antonio committed criminal conversation, alienation of affection, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, and assault and battery. By North Carolina law, criminal conversation is a crime committed when a person has sex with a married person before separation. Alien of affection is a crime committed when a person destroys the genuine love and affection of marriage. Keith and Danielle King, who have a 5-year-old daughter, had been married since 2010. $8.5 million awarded because somebody destroyed his marriage.
Wow. That kind of opens up a can of worms. I mean,
Are you okay suing for something like that?
If you can win. If somebody destroyed...
If you can win.
I don't know.
If somebody destroyed my marriage?
I don't know. That's personal choice. If people are... Look, I
don't know. Maybe I didn't get all the details of the story.
I'm all for people staying together and all that, but if a marriage falls apart, I don't like bringing in the legal system to assign blame.
Be faithful, people.
To the third party.
Right.
Be faithful.
Or for any part of it.
I don't intend to have that problem. All right. Thanks for listening today. Radio.com for the podcast and Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. 971talk.com/Annie. We'll see you Monday.
Good morning, my favorite daughter. Welcome to the Auto Hahn Ride Share. I'm your driver, Catherine Hahn. If you'd care for a beverage, just open the Stow & Go storage system and you'll find juice boxes and animal crackers.
Mom, not this again.
In-ride entertainment is available with the UConnect Theater. There's games, apps, and all my favorite movies already queued up.
Bored.
Here at Auto Hahn, safety is our top concern. That's why we only drive the Chrysler Pacifica. Here we are. I expect a 5-star review.
The Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa Legend batteries come with a $15 rebate by mail. Their long-lasting durability stands up to extreme conditions. So even on scorching days, it'll puff its chest out and be all like, hey, summer heat, find another car battery to drain. Napa Legend batteries with $15 mail-in rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/18.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join me, Mark Close, and Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, August 7th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555